जो बोला था वो वापस से कुछ बोलना पड़ेगा। हाँ बोलो वापस। हाँ हो गया सर एक बार वापस ये
अपने विंडो पे क्या आ रहा है?
हाँ तो ठीक है हाँ, अब एक बार वापस बोलना मैं बोलता हूँ वापस
अपने विंडो पे क्या आ रहा है?
हाँ तो ठीक है अब एक बार वापस बोलना मैं बोलता हूँ
Good evening. Just wait for a few more minutes. We will be starting.
क्या रहा है बस
लेट आया, डिलेड है।
5 सेकंड पे वो तो 10 सेकंड लाइन में रहता है।
invest your money and take some return out of it. सबसे पहले मैं I will speaking both in Hindi and English for both the audience, those who understand Hindi and those who doesn't understand Hindi. So it will be of mix of both the language. सबसे पहले मैं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूँ. मेरा नाम राजीव मोहला है. मैं ट्रेड बॉक्स से हूँ. मेरा 20 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है ट्रेड का, मार्केट का. बेसिकली मेरा जो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस है वो कमोडिटीज़ में है. और मैंने रेलीगेयर, मोतीलाल जैसे कंपनीज में काम किया है. नेशनल हेड रहा हूँ. आज से 2-3 साल पहले मेरा एक साथी था रेलीगेयर में है, मतलब अंकुर. उनके हम लोग के बीच में ऐसी बात हो रही थी कि हम लोग कैसे क्या चीज़ करें इन फ्यूचर, व्हाट आर दी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़. तो हम लोग ने ये देखा कि ऐसा टेक प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है जो एक इन्वेस्टर को वेरीफाइड और ऑथेंटिक आरए से मिला पाए, जो उनको एक अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ या अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट करने का, कैसे इन्वेस्ट करना है उसके बारे में कुछ बता पाए. तो हम लोग ने एक टेक बनाया जिसका नाम है ट्रेडबॉक्स. और उस टेक में हम लोग ने आरए को, जो सेबी रजिस्टर्ड आरएज होते हैं, उन लोग को रजिस्टर करना शुरू किया. उनका पूरा का पूरा बैक एंड हम लोग संभालते हैं, राइट फ्रॉम देयर रिकमेंडेशन टू देयर मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो, किस तरह से ऑनबोर्डिंग करनी है, वो पूरा का पूरा टेक हम लोग संभाल रहे हैं. और पर्पस ये था कि एक इन्वेस्टर को एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म मिले, मार्केट प्लेस मिले, जहां से वो उन आरए के साथ रजिस्टर्ड सेबी रजिस्टर्ड एडवाइजर्स के साथ इंटरैक्ट कर पाए, उनको ढूंढ पाए. तो आज की तारीख में हमारे पास 100 आरएस रजिस्टर्ड हैं. और उनमें से हम वो प्लेटफॉर्म में उन लोग को, इन्वेस्टर्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी देखते हैं कि भैया आप इनके प्रोडक्ट देखो और वहां से आप अपना रखें. साथ में हम लोग एक इवेंट्स करते हैं, जैसे हम लोग स्पीकर्स को बुलाते हैं जहाँ पे इन्वेस्टर्स को नॉलेज इम्पार्ट की जाती है. तो दिस इज मोर अ नॉलेज इम्पार्टिंग. वो अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताएंगे और किस तरह से ट्रेड किया जाता है, कैसे ट्रेड किया जाता है, उसके बारे में आप लोग को अपना एक्सपीरियंस और आप लोग को एक करेक्ट वे ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में लेके जाएंगे. इसके अलावा हमारे पास एक एल्गो प्लेटफॉर्म है कोडर के नाम से, जिसके फाउंडर मेंबर्स यहाँ पे हैं, जो उसके बारे में आपको बताएंगे किस तरह से एल्गो के थ्रू उसमें जो सिग्नल जनरेट्स होते हैं, आपकी स्ट्रेटेजी के हिसाब से कैसे आप उसको यूजफुली अपने ट्रेड में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो, प्रॉफिटेबल ट्रेड में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. तो सबसे पहले जो हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं नॉलेज इम्पार्टिंग से. उसके लिए मैं आप लोग से एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं. आप लोगों में से कितने लोग मिस्टर फिदाई को जानते हैं फेस टू फेस? सो देयर आर 2-3 पीपल आउट ऑफ द एंटायर दिस थिंग, जिसमें एनएस फिदाई को अच्छी तरह से जानते हैं. बाकियों ने, कितनों ने नाम नहीं सुना उनका आज तक? चलिए मैं आप लोग के बता देता हूं. मिस्टर एनएस फिदाई का 35 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है ट्रेड में, जिसमें पिछले 20 साल में उन्होंने खाली जो है लोगों को ट्रेड करने, किस तरह से ट्रेड करना चाहिए, उन लोगों ने लोगों को सिखाया है, मेंटर बने हैं उनके. उन लोगों को ट्रेड करना, किस तरह से सक्सेसफुल ट्रेड करना चाहिए, लॉन्ग टाइम कैसे होराइजन देखना चाहिए, किस तरह से ट्रेड को किस तरह से एग्जीक्यूट करना चाहिए, किस जगह के कब एंटर करना चाहिए, कब अपनी पोर्टफोलियो में, अगर आपने XYZ स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट किया है, कब कब उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी चाहिए और कितने देर उसको होल्ड करके कितना प्रॉफिट कमा सकते हो, उसके बारे में आपको पूरा का पूरा उन्होंने उन्होंने अपने एक्सपीरियंस से एक पूरा का पूरा चार्ट बना रखा है, जिससे जो आपको अच्छी तरह से एक्सप्लेन करेंगे अपने प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में. मिस्टर एनएस फिदाई पहले एक बैंकर थे. 13 साल उन्होंने बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में रहे. उसके बाद उन्होंने बैंकिंग छोड़ी और वो इस लोगों को मेंटरिंग में आ गए इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए. शादीशुदा हैं, 56 साल के इंसान हैं. इनके 2 बच्चे हैं. एक टेक में है, उनकी जो डॉटर है शी इज शी इज इन अ स्टार्टअप जो एक टेक रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट में है, और उनका जो एक लड़का, जो उनका जो सन है, वो एक फुटबॉल नेशनल लेवल का फुटबॉल कोच है, कोच करता है, और वो अंडर 19 की टीम को, अंडर 15 की टीम को ट्रेन करता है इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे। मैं उनकी फैमिली के बारे में क्यों बता रहा हूँ, टेक एंड कि वो फुटबॉल के कोच है, वाई दिस शो कि उन्होंने अपने बच्चों को भी एक ऐसी वो दी है कि वो एक रिस्क टेकर्स हैं, साथ में आगे लोगों को सिखा भी रहे हैं किस तरह से अपने आप को सेफगार्ड करना है while taking the risk also. So this is how, and I now call Mr. N.S. Fidai. I will not hold you back for other. Mr. Fidai, the floor is all yours.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I hope Rajiv ने थोड़ा बहुत मेरे बारे में बताया. I will also try to speak in English mostly, so people can, understand, and I hope everybody understands here also. He has spoken a little bit about my personal life also, and like professional life also. So I don't think we should go too far into that area, right? But how did I come into market? That is all scripted. It's all there in the social media. Money Control has covered it, and probably, like you can say, I have been covered by other platforms also. I have also spoken on many other platforms like Face to Face also, where Vivek Bajaj ji has taken an interview. It was a two session kind of, two parts wala interview tha. So basically people know me from that perspective ki who am I, right? But here we are, like I would say, this is not even, we are not trying to promote anything in a way ki aapko koi service kharidni hai hamari. This only, like, meet and greet, a networking opportunity for people in Jaipur as well as people online if they want to connect with us, right? Because analyze, see, I have been associated with Analyze India. Nuresh was one of my first earlier mentees, and then you must have heard about Mr. Shivaji, who started his Summer 12th also. So obviously we have had people who have succeeded quite, in a big way in financial industry, especially stock market related. Now the opportunity for me also is there now. So I feel instead of being just a trainer, I can grow a little more, because SEBI has put up some basic, some beautiful platforms. They are expecting us to become, regularized. They want us to be regulated as an educator also and otherwise also. So today I can safely say that India Equity Network, which is the umbrella body under which you can say India Elite Summit today, the summit of Jaipur chapter we are having right now, is the first event that we are launching. And the whole purpose is we want to be known. First, we want people to know us at least, right? The purpose is to introduce ourselves. The purpose is not to sell any services to you. So here we are going to be just like, meeting, eating, greeting, and, maybe staying connected over a period of time, right? So basically that is the purpose. Maybe I'll share a fantastic strategy, which I usually say is a zero risk strategy. Now it's unbelievable, right? So maybe I will take you through that also. Okay, why it is zero risk and where the risk happens, right? Then, like India Equity Network, I was talking to you about. India Equity Network has, you can say, is just waiting maybe in few days or few weeks maximum. We should be a SEBI registered corporate RA. So then we can launch our services over a period of time, which we have not yet planned anything. And then we have one more startup where I am also a founder there, which is called Qodrr, which is about algo trading platform. So today we will try to give you first the knowledge on the strategy part that I was talking to you about. And the second part is about Qodrr, where Mr. Jayant will take you through the journey, how you can be a better trader using algo trading. And why, I will try to explain to you why algo trading makes you a better trader, right? So we'll try to do that, and we'll try to expose to you what are the potential that you can have, how you can benefit out of it. It is currently free for use, so we'll make sure that you get that benefit also, all of you, right? Maybe over a period of time when we launch our services or whatever, like, then maybe we'll look at it, but right now nothing is to be charged at the moment, right? So yeah, I believe I have given you a fair idea of what you can expect out of this event. People who are in presence here in Jaipur, obviously we'll, after the session gets over, we'll meet, greet, maybe eat together, and maybe talk and discuss, right? Lots of things. So that is the whole purpose of this meeting. So let's go to the first, what I call the strategy is called Mrityunjay. I hope you all know what is Mrityunjay. Anybody here who wants to define what is Mrityunjay? What do you understand by the word Mrityunjay? Anybody? Great. Win over death or victory over death. Right? So, yeah, next. So, it's victory over death, something that does not die. What do you think, which is a product that cannot die? Is there any product, any service, or any security? Usually you will say gold, right? Most of you. Because gold is something that has remained for ages. It has been there for centuries as a currency, in the form of currency, or maybe you can say an exchange of currency, right? So it has replaced currency in many ways, many times, and it has become the, the standard. We say gold standard, right? So basically gold, obviously, but in stock market, what do you think will be the, something that cannot be, you can be, say, destroyed? What do you think can be that? Any product or anything? Nifty, yes, obviously it's Nifty. Now, how can Nifty, you can have zero risk strategy in Nifty? Is it possible? Do you think it is possible? Anybody here? Zero risk? Is it possible? Yes, guys? Usually you people lose money in Nifty, right? All of you? When you trade Nifty, you lose money. So how can you have a strategy which can have zero risk? Okay, so I'll take you through this small journey, and you will understand how this can be a zero risk. But let me explain to you in a little detail why Nifty can be a zero risk strategy. Just think about your stock, any top quality stock. Can it go to zero? Can any top quality stock, bluest of blue chip, can it go to zero? Do we have examples of those? Can we have some examples? Bluest of blue chips that has gone to zero or maybe to negligible numbers? Yes, Bank? Then Vodafone Idea? Satyam? What else? Reliance Group, Adani, ADAG, Anil Ambani, right? Anil Ambani Group, Reliance Infra, Reliance Capital, Reliance Home Finance, whatever you can think of, right? Jet Airways, so they can go to zero. Acha, were there some scripts that we spoke about, were they part of Nifty? Yes Bank? Yes Bank, Reliance Capital, Kingfisher probably, like most of them, right? They were part of Nifty. Some big names, right? Then Satyam also. Satyam was part of, the index, and it fell to almost like 8 rupees at one point. So you can lose money in stocks, bluest of blue chips, maybe due to corporate governance issues, or maybe due to obsolescence of the whole product or business that they are running, right? So do you think, like, if you invest, like most people say, we invest in stocks and we expect to make multi-bagger returns. Obviously you can make multi-bagger returns if you had bought Wipro. Like, that's a fantastic example. 1980s, if you had invested in Wipro, 10,000 rupees, today it would be worth around 600 to 800 crore, between that area. Just imagine 10,000 turning into 600 to 800 crores. Now, do we have such possibilities? Do we have that kind of, what do you call, that we can sell it, buy one more Wipro and hold it? Maybe you must have bought many stocks which have gone to multi-bagger levels, and you sold them off over a period of time. how can we invest in Nifty? Can we invest directly in Nifty? What are the products? ETFs. Nifty Bs, simple, there is nothing big challenge. Acha, can Nifty go to zero? Like stocks can go to zero, but what about Nifty? Can it go to zero? Why?
It's basically the economy of India.
So it is basically nothing, but it is a mirror of India. It's, you can say it's the standard that India, we say ki this is what, India, if you want to see in economic parlance, then maybe you look at Nifty, where it is going, whether it is growing or not growing. But do you know what has happened? Like Nifty is a younger baby compared to Sensex. We all know, right? Both are similar. They are both similar indices. They move in tandem. Most of the charts will look same. So basically, if you try to understand Sensex, why I am talking about Sensex right now, though we are talking about Nifty, because Sensex has a longer history. Since 1979, that's the data we have for Sensex. Nifty came somewhere in 90s, right? So basically, that was 11 to 13 years kind of gap between Nifty and Sensex. So if you know me, like how many people know me since very long? What is how many years since you know me? 7? 10? 18? So there are people who know me since 18. 18 years, can you imagine? So if I ask you, first time when we are meeting, or if you meet somebody, a stranger, first time, is wearing a blazer, looking smart. If he asks you to lend 10,000 rupees, would you lend? Very difficult, right? Very difficult, you cannot. Though he's wearing blazer, whatever. But if you know me since last 10, 12, 7, 8 years, would you be able to lend 10,000, maybe 50,000, maybe 1 lakh? I'm asking for lending, I'm not asking you to give up your money, right? So I always say in my trainings, the more you know something, the longer the association, the better the quality of relationship. Okay, now just let's take an example. Whom do you know the most within your life? Whom you can trust like more than maybe NS Fidai? Because maybe you know me for 18 years, maybe you may be lending me, if you know me for 18 years, maybe 10 lakh rupees, but not 1 crore. But somebody, and I'm not asking you for, right? So let's like take it clearly, means make it clear that we are not asking for money, but trying to make a statement here. Why Sensex is a better index compared to Nifty, right? So now if you go in your life and check out, whom do you think can stand that, you can say test, that, you would say, ki, okay, I can lend this person maybe everything that I own, whatever I own. Is there somebody in your life you can do that? Parents, siblings, a very good friend, chuddy buddy, very close, somebody more nearer, like, you don't have, sometimes it is said that friends are the brothers you did not have, right? Brother from another mother. So probably some people will be able to give that kind of money to a friend, and they may not even ask that money back. Am I right? Because sometimes that money you lend to a brother or sister, you're not going to ask back unless that person is in a position to give it back to you. So same way, why you are able to do that? Because you know them for so long. Agar wahi bhai, that brother is not the brother that you would want. Like sometimes you have brothers, right, who maybe you don't want to associate, not even want to say he is my brother, right? There are cases where we have come across where there are, family challenges, there are, court issues and all that. So don't want to associate it. Maybe it's your son also. Probably it's your family also, your own son who is not on the right track. You will disown them. So sometimes you don't give them, right? So same way I'm trying to say, if your association is longer, the longer the association, but also trustworthy. Not everybody can be trusted with that kind of, money or relationship. Okay, so have I made the case where why I'm going to show you Sensex, though I'm talking about Nifty, and I'm going to ask you, if you wish to use this strategy, then you have to buy Sensex Bs also. but Nifty base is more liquid, and that's the reason I'm going to give you kind of example on Sensex, but instead you can use it same thing on Nifty, exactly apply the same principles, everything, and you can do it on Nifty. Okay, now let's set some rules. We know Nifty cannot go to zero. When can Nifty go to zero? Chalo, is it possible? Can Nifty go to zero? And I don't want answers from somebody who has done my program, because they may know that answer. Somebody who has not done my program, can you tell me when can Nifty go to zero? Yes? Anybody here who can say when can Nifty go to zero? End of the world, the last day, judgment day, end of the whole universe, or you can say, like, the day when everything will fall apart. So will you need any money on that day? Nobody will need any money. So that's the only risk, I believe, that you can have if you're going to go with this strategy. There is one more risk. There is one more risk with this strategy. I call it zero risk, but there are two risks. One is end of the world situation. We can't avoid that, all of us. The second one, even if you go to Mars, universe ही बंद हो जाएगा, खलास हो जाएगा, तो Mars is also part of universe, right? So let's come to which is the other situation where there is a risk with this strategy. And it is not with anything to do with end of the world. So what is it? You cannot talk. Yeah. Maybe then it will not go to zero. We have seen situations where Nifty has fallen 63%. I'll show you the examples. When Nifty has fallen 63%. The investor, you yourself, has the biggest risk to the strategy. You are the biggest risk to the strategy. Do you know that? How? Let's say you intend to go with this strategy. I love this strategy. I want, want to go with this, and it is free. You can just use it on your own. You don't have to worry and come to me and ask anything about it. I will share the whole details with you. But important thing to understand is how can it go to, you being the risk. I'm setting some rules. Let's say this strategy is for 7 years. Okay, I'm saying it has to be for 7 years. So you said, okay, I will do it for 7 years. I don't mind, I can start. And you have to put nominal money. Whatever you want to put, you have to divide by 20. So I'm setting the rules. If you want to just note down or understand, just remember, otherwise this will be on live YouTube. You can always go through it, right? So you don't have to even note. So in 20 parts, you are, breaking that money, whatever you want to invest in markets. Okay. And there's a zero risk. But here the risk I'm trying to define is how you can be the risk. Your risk comes from you wanting the money before 7 years or maybe in few months. You want to withdraw money because of some challenges in your life, in personal life, professional life, wherever. Or sometimes we don't believe that, no, sab kuch theek hai, Fidai sir ne bola, but I am not comfortable with this strategy. I would rather take out my money. So that's the risk that is there. But I'll try to help you out, at least with that part where you can build your conviction in the strategy. Okay, by the facts. Nothing beyond facts. Whatever you see will be actual. You can also verify on the charts also. Right? So we'll try to see that. Okay. So now we know that this is not a zero risk strategy. Two risks. One is end of the world scenario. Another is ourselves, where we withdraw the money before the result has to happen. Within 3 to 7 years, it can happen in few months also. But then we don't have faith in ourselves or the market or maybe Mr. Fidai. Right? So I'll try to help you out with the system. Then you can decide, and finally I am the risk and the end of the world scenario is the risk. And if you want to justify and if you have some queries, we'll take that, sir, there could be one more risk and I will learn from you. If that is the risk you can define. Okay. So, let's go to the next slide. So if you see, what are the range of corrections? I just spoke to you, 63%. Sensex has dropped 63%, or Nifty also, 63%. When was that? Anybody here? When was that? 2008, global financial crisis. I hope you all remember, right? 2008 was the worst fall ever in Indian history. Okay, so 63%. And Okay, we are talking about this whole strategy is on 16% and beyond corrections. Okay, 16% and beyond corrections. Fine. So you can start whenever you see a major correction. Okay, so very simple, right? What could happen? What could go wrong if there is a situation where there is a fall, major fall, and you are not in the situation to invest? Those strategy is beautiful. What can go wrong? How can it go wrong? Again, you. We as a we are the problem. Investors, traders, we are the problem. What is the problem? What do you think could be the problem? No, you will not have money. The second will be yours, fear. Both things are with you. You are fully invested in market and market is falling. Now you don't have any money surplus to put, or you have fear. You have money, but you have fear. So once you know, how can you remove the fear from the yourself? What is the way to remove fear from yourself? When we know the result, when we know that this is the possibility, the end result, and I'm not going to lose at any cost. And if I'm going to lose, then it has to be zero, and that is the end of the world. So I don't mind losing at that point. So if you know the biggest investors in market who have made biggest money have invested when the markets were seeing the biggest fall. Okay, so I'll tell you when you can start investing. Okay, it could be for even your own personal investments. No need to go for Nifty Bs also. So it could be general. You can start investing when you see this kind of scenario. So this strategy need not be just for the sake of, let's say, Nifty Bs only. It can be for your personal, whenever you want to start investing. I'm fearful right now. I'm not in the situation. I don't like the markets. It's very high. Maybe it goes up from here. Let's say it goes to, like I was talking to our Rafiq Bhai here, the owner of this hotel. He is expecting, he's a Elliott Aviation, right? He is Elliottian. So obviously, he is expecting markets to go to 33,000, means 28,000 approximately in maybe next few months. And then maybe he sees a major correction. Then maybe he sees a very high, huge rally as per Elliott's. Though I am not an Elliottician, but this is what the discussion was. So how can you take advantage in that scenario? So if you know this strategy, probably you can take advantage. And you can buy stocks at that point. Problem with stock selection is you can be right with stock selection, you can go with the quality stock selection, but the movement that you will see may not be even matching Nifty. Right now we are seeing Nifty is going up. What is happening to your portfolios? Where do you see your portfolios? They are down, right? They are in minus. They are not, in sync with Nifty, majority of it. All of us are facing same thing. Though Nifty is near to high, our portfolio is down 30%, or our stocks are down 30%. So obviously there can be a issue with that, but then if you would have bought on 2020 crash, you would be sitting on huge profits, all of you who would have invested in 2020 crash, most of you, right? And then you don't want to sell because I have bought Tata Motors at sub 100 rupees. Why should I sell now, right? So this is the situation that can happen with most of us. So some stocks can give crazy performance and some stock can give like negative performance, or they may not be in sync with markets and all that. Okay, so this is where we need to realize how this strategy can be used for buying stocks also, but then you need to understand that you cannot be right when you do stock selection. In Nifty, there is no problem. Why there is no problem? Just imagine Nifty started in 79, Sensex started in 79, the base price was 100. What is current Sensex value? Anybody? Approx 85,000 plus, right? Around 85,000 plus in that area. Has it gone vertically to 85,000 non-stop in those 46 years? No, right? It has not gone for 46 in last 46 years vertically up. So have we seen a fall? We spoke about just now, 63% fall, 17% fall, 10% wale to bahut sare ho gaye, 10, 12 wale. But we had 40% in COVID. We had 60% during Harshad Mehta period, right? 60 plus %, even Ketan Parekh period. So you can assume, and then I'll show you the latest current scenario where what sort of situation is happening in markets, how the current falls are happening, what is the time consumption. These are the facts I'll present to you, and then we'll make this strategy, right? So yeah, next. correction every 4 years on an average. Like if you see 45 years, 10 corrections, 4.5 saal, right? You can safely assume those are the corrections. Next, correction from peak to bottom took 20 months on the max. 20 months from peak to bottom. That's the max. हमको क्या लगता है तभी दुनिया खलास होगी. 2008, this was 2008 scenario. 20 months it took from top to bottom to go to that, no, this was 2000, year 2000, sorry. This was Y2K. This was not 20 months, was Y2K. But when market falls, how do you feel? It is the end of the world. You don't want to see the stocks. You don't want to see your portfolio. You feel so bad about it, right? Here, इसको खोलना ही नहीं है, बाजार में जाना ही नहीं है. एक बार पैसा आ गया, I will not go back to market ever. I will never invest in market, right? And the moment market starts going up, what we do? We forget what we had said, right? The best time to invest is when markets are falling, not when it's going up. But problem with most of us is we want to invest when things are looking rosy, right? So if I present these facts to you, you will realize that it's not very difficult to invest. It's only to first to build conviction. Like मैं अक्सर बोलता हूँ, if you are going to a strange place, new place, let's say this hall is absolutely new for all of us. If there is a electricity gone, right now there is no electricity, you would feel very uncomfortable, right, all of you? If you had to go out of this hall in pitch darkness, would it be giving you comfort, any kind of comfort? Let's say your mobiles are totally discharged, there is no battery. You will be very uncomfortable, right? Why we have this uncomfortable situation? The darkness, as I say, is also about knowledge also. When you don't have knowledge, then you are afraid. If you have knowledge, these guys who are working here, the waiters, the people who are running this hotel, would they be as afraid as you to go out of this place? Even if there is pitch darkness? Probably no. Why? Because they know this place in and out. Same thing in your home. You wouldn't mind having pitch darkness in your home because you know your home very well, right? But if you go to your friend's home, similar situation, you would not be very comfortable. So this is where the knowledge part, if there is no knowledge, then you are fearful. So, once you have knowledge, your fear goes away. So I hope I have made this also one thing, how to remove fear from having knowledge. Okay, so let's take this journey into the knowledge. So if you see, this is Sensex journey, April 92 to 93, 56% fall in 13 months. 56% fall in 13 months. Now notice both the things, the percentage and the time, right? Try to notice both. Don't just notice only the percentage of fall, though they look very strong, very big, but also notice the time. Next, February 00 to September 2001, 20 months, as I told you, 58% correction. Huge, both of them. Okay, third, Jan 04 to May 04, 33% almost, 32.35 in 5 months. When you see this on chart, it will look like small thing. It won't right now because in retrospection. But if you're actually trading in the market at that point or invested in the market, you would have had, maybe wet your pants also. Because in 5 months, if you see this kind of correction, it is not comfortable at all. Okay, next. May 06 to June 06. 31% almost, 30.55 in 2 months. Just 2 months. And 30%. Can we digest this kind of thing? If I say right now, it is easy to see because it's in retrospection. If it happens now, what can you do? If it happens now, just imagine. Think about it. Agar kal market gira to 30% fall in next 2 months. Uncomfortable, right? Just to think about it. Forget about, actually happening. Okay. Next, Jan 08 to October 08. 10 months, 63.7. This is 2008. And these are first 5 falls that we are talking about. The older history. Okay. Now let's see the next part. The next 5 fall. Just look at the numbers of the correction. Are they as deep as they were before 2008? The deepest is back. The deepest is just 40%, that is COVID. That is black swan scenario. Never happened before in last 100 years. And we have not lived, anybody has lived to see the previous 100 years old scenario, right? So just imagine, otherwise, if you remove the COVID part, the deepest correction is 28%, the weak, like smallest correction is 17%. So what do you see, how the information is now changing? Earlier corrections were deeper. Can we go back a little? Now if you see this, the smallest correction was 31%, deepest was 63.7. If we come to current situation, why this has happened? Can anybody has any understanding of why this has happened?
Post 2008 scenario, economies have leveraged this and what the forecast this and
Mutual fund sahi hai. Mutual fund sahi hai. More funds coming into the market, more people, more liquidity. So lesser the fall, obviously, because there are more people ready to buy in shorter duration. So they don't want to see, like they will not allow the price to go deeper because there is so much money flowing in that markets cannot have that. Just imagine COVID kind of situation just at 40%. That's amazing, right? And then you had 2000 crisis, 63.7, 63.7 was 2008, right? Just imagine that kind of correction, global financial crisis. Haven't we come across somewhat similar kind of crisis, tariff, and before that also? US government unable to pay its interest and all that, printing more currency and all. So these are worse scenarios actually, where that was a global financial crisis which was affecting the corporations. Here it is affecting the whole governments, can you imagine? And we are seeing lesser fall. Just 16%, what? Last correction. Can we go to next? Yeah, 16.92, last correction, just latest correction. And just look at the time duration. Has it also reduced? The depth of the correction has reduced, even the time duration. So now, if you see, we are in the very fast age, where everything happens in faster time. We are in AI age, probably we'll see corrections in maybe few days only. This kind of corrections. Anything is possible. Because algos are running, big money is playing bigger games, right? So there could be some major correction. This could be flash crash जो हम सुनते हैं, so that could happen in future. So I'm not making a prediction, but I'm also kind of thinking aloud in a way. This is not prediction, this is thinking aloud. And maybe I can be right, but I don't want to be right. Please understand that. Okay, so I'm not trying to do fear mongering here, but what I'm trying to say, these are the possibilities. What is happening here, if you see, even if it is 10% crash on index in maybe 10 days, unbearable, seriously. Maybe it will reverse in next 10 days or 30 days or 1 month. Now, if you see the reversal of this whole corrections, there is some more additional data there, some beautiful data. But before we go to that, let's go to next slide. So I have made the case here very clear in those 2 slides where I have shown you 10 major corrections which are beyond 16%, right? 16 to 63.7, and we have seen the time taken, 20 on the highest side and 2 on. Imagine if this data was available to you, okay, and if you can go back, how would you take advantage of that scenario? Okay, so let's try to see what are the high, the close, and the open of Sensex during 2000, 17,500. That is how many points? 4,000 points, almost 3,500 approximately. That is how much percentage? Just think, almost 18% in 1 month. That was 2008 crash. The first slap that you got from the smart money was the hardest. Then look at it, how it has kept on falling. You are seeing the number 9788.666 has closed. So it had gone even deeper on the lower side, though it closed a little higher, but it was never that. But I'm presenting you a case here, like see if you would have invested, because can you buy at high? Probably yes. You will say I'm the most unlucky person. I always buy everything at high, right? Many people are there who, when they buy, market starts crashing for scenario. If you would have bought only at highs, you would have invested 16,82,000, right here, or 1,68,000, whatever. Okay, so this number, if you see here, it is, yeah, 1,68,200 rupees. If you would have bought at the lowest close price, then what would it be? 1,50,000. You would have said what, 18,000 rupees approximately, right? 3,000, 6%, 7%, nothing huge, right? So just imagine if you would have been unlucky, or you would have been the most lucky point where you could have bought anything. Average के लिए फिर बार बार खरीदना होता है. If you had to invest, so let's not take average. Average is just put to show you what could be the worst. You know, even if you had done something random, you could have done average, right? Maybe highest point, lowest point, whatever, it would have been average. Every open is very much possible, or maybe the close point. We know month ka 30th month, or whatever the day, which is the last day of the month, 329 ko can you buy? All of you? Easy, na? Or the beginning of the month, first thing, first trade, initial. जैसे market खुला, first thing, 9:15, first of the day, month. You can do that, but that is very easy, right? So if you would have bought at open, it could have been 160. If you would have bought at close, it could have been 150. Again, 10,000 ka farak, nothing huge, right? Just to give you a perspective, understand, like these are the actual numbers that I am putting in front of you. 12 months, what, not even 10, 12, 10 months. It took 10 months to go to lowest point. So I'm putting that in front of you, right? Next. So if you see, Nifty's highest close was 20,286 before this correction started. The highest close on the chart. Okay, simple. It's not very difficult. 20,286, highest close. Now, if you see, the whole strategy works on this 3-4 numbers that I've put here. 15, 20, 25, 30. That is one way to invest in this strategy. What is that number? Whenever you see 15% correction, you put your money. One way. Another is, whenever you want to start, just think हम तो सबसे unlucky है, maybe we are buying at the peak, right? So आपने peak पे चालू किया, 20 divide by 20 कर दिया, 10 लाख रुपया है, 1 करोड़ रुपया, whatever you want to invest in market, divide by 20 कर दिया, what will happen? After I buy, markets have to fall. So correction started. I started investing. I started putting, you know, I'll show you how we did that calculation also. But I started investing first SIP. 20 means a first EMI, first installment. I'm putting at first month, whatever the value. Open, close or high, whatever you want to. Or average, right? Fine. So 15% आएगा, तो you will put 2 more EMIs or 2 SIPs, right? Simple. So एक डाला था, अगर यही महीने में 15% fall आ गया जैसे हुआ था 2008 में, तो you will put 3 installments in the first month itself. Okay, so what will happen? In first month you have, out of 20 you invested 3, 17 installments left, and you kept on investing. In next month 1, then 1, then there was a fall, again 5% more to 20% from the peak. From the peak, we are not even taking the closing price of the index, we are talking from the peak. So peak se jaise jaise aata gaya, this whole presentation will be there for you to understand, and you can go and do this every time. Okay, so, and I'll show you even better efficient way to do it. Okay, so this is just one way. So 20% pe 2 more, next 5% 2 more, otherwise 111. 30% पे invest everything, whatever is left out, जो भी पैसा बचा है, maybe 12 installments, 13 installments, 18 installments, जो भी बचा है, invest everything at 30%. Why? What is the average fall that we have seen currently? 15-20 आता है, तो 30 तो आना रहा. हमको आपकी बहुत अच्छी लक है तो 30 आएगा. I am saying लक है तो 30 आएगा. Just think, I am saying अगर आप लक्की हो तो 30% फॉल आएगा. आर यू अग्रीइंग विद दैट? सीरियसली 30% फॉल देखना है मार्केट में. अब सबको चाहिए, राइट? बिकॉज यू हैव इंफॉर्मेशन इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, बट मे बी विल नॉट हैव इट, मे बी वी डोंट नो, nobody knows what can happen, right? But assume कि अगर ऐसा हुआ तो what will you do? Regular 111, जैसे 15% फॉल दिखा 2, then 5% 5% more, another 2, then another 5%, another 2. Otherwise, 1, 1, 1. Up to 20 months or 20 installments over the end of the story. Okay, can we go to next? Next, yeah. So can we go to Excel? Can we go to Excel? The second one, yeah. Second one. So if you see this, can we zoom this? Can we zoom this whole thing? Just zoom it from bottom and yeah, more. Can you see all of you? Yeah, that's it. I think it's very clear now, all of you. Yeah. Yeah. So if you want, we can zoom this only this part. Can we zoom this? एक ही table, just one table, zoom it. Yeah, zoom it and then, maybe scroll that side. Scroll on this side. And zoom it, zoom more. Zoom as much as possible, zoom more. Yeah, and go that side. Maybe you can hide that. IJKL, बाद में undo कर देना चाहिए तो. Yeah. Okay. So if you see this, if you would have invested in this fall at the highest price, what would have been the situation? You would have been invested in 3 months only, total. 3 months में, total investment done. 20 installments done. 30% आ गया 3 months में. Crazy, right? So would you like to see something like this? Just look at the returns then. By October 2010, when markets came back to 20,286 again, your returns were 32.5%. In how many months? 20 months? 2010, Jan 2008, Jan 20, 30 something, 34 months? 34 months, 32%. Is it good enough? Not bad, right? In the falling market, just imagine, the markets are falling. Markets are falling and you are just doing blind sipping, doing nothing. It means thoda efficient kar diya by putting as much. And this went what? The deeper was something like 60% plus. The fall was 60%. मतलब आपके पूरे पैसे लगने के बाद 30% और गया था नीचे. At 13,784 you invested fully, it went down to 7,700. Just imagine, 7,700, 6,000.4 months Nifty is why? Because it is very liquid. Let's go to again to the slide. Now let me show you a different perspective. How you can do a little different way, more optimized way, and how you can benefit out of it. कहाँ आ गया? बाहर आ गया? कहाँ आ गया? बाहर आ गया? It's going back. Yeah. Next. Refresh that. We have seen this. Next. Now, if you go with times, what happens? 35 years, 10 corrections, 20 months max, 2 months minimum. The range was 63 to 70 to 30.55 in first 5 years. Okay, just 10 months, that's the average time correction. Time correction average was just 10 months. But 10 months कैसे लगते हैं? क़यामत जैसे. Right? We feel it's the end of the world for us. But 10 months में you have seen this kind of corrections. 48% price correction once in every 4 years. That's the average. That was pre-2008 up to 2008. Okay, now come back to this. What happened in past 5 corrections? 15 years, 5 corrections, same. Right? 14 months max, lowest side. 3 months minimum. Range was 40 to 17. 40 was COVID. So again, that is one-off scenario, not every time. Okay. And just 9 months. So average has come down from 10 months to 1 month lower. So now correction is completing in just 9 months from the top to bottom. Okay. That's the average, 26% price correction against 48%. Much better. Once in every 3 years. Every 4 years. So now correction is happening in shorter time duration with a shorter magnitude and getting over in shorter time itself. That's the beauty. Because of mutual funds sahi hai. We people are pouring, our Indian citizens are pouring money like crazy in mutual fund, and that is what is helping. When mutual funds start investing, they buy at the good values. So obviously when they find value, they will start investing. So corrections won't be very deeper. Okay, so go to next now. So how do you take advantage? Now instead of doing this 20 sips, that is one way to do it, and 5 tranches, whatever you want to do, right? कि अगर 30 तक गया तो आप क्या क्या करोगे? 2 टाइम, आफ्टर 15 2%, 20 2 टाइम्स, सॉरी 30 2 टाइम्स, and finish 30 में total complete, right? Instead, let's say if we deploy 1/4 capital at 15%, 1/4, that is how much? 25% at 15% correction. Then deploy balance capital every week from 8 months onwards. Now here we are talking about time. After the correction you have seen, now we are not talking about the percentage, we are talking about time. Why? Correction gets over in 3 to 4 quarters. Just 3 to 4 quarters. Maximum is 5 quarters. तो भाई हम 4 क्वार्टर में घुसा दे पूरा पैसा. कैसे घुसाना है? Every week for next 5 weeks, or in every 5% correction, whatever happens first. Simple. So now 1 2 वो सब याद नहीं रखना है. Simple. 15% फॉल हुआ, पैसा लगा दो फर्स्ट 25%, बाकी 75% कब लगाओगे? ऑन एवरी 5% और एवरी वीक. ओपन पे लगाओ, क्लोज पे लगाओ, जहां लगाना लगाओ. ओके, सो या नेक्स्ट, दैट्स it's 15%. Now you remember this number 15%. Whenever you see a correction of 15% on index, that's when you start trigger, buy trigger. उसके पहले नहीं. Are we clear? So because we want to see major correction, तो 10% वाला तो बार बार आता है, हर थोड़े महीने में आ जाएगा. कितनी वक्त करोगे, है ना? तो it won't work for you, it won't give you those kind of returns. Okay, so we have to understand, we have to remember this 15% number, and you start investing when you see 15% on index. Next, now if you see this, this is the most recent correction, March 25. 25% invested at 15%, कितना रुपया? 10 लाख, 2,50,000 invested. 10 लाख का 25% is what? 2,50,000. Then 10th March 25, 15% every Monday. So next week, every Monday, open. I invested 15, 10 lakh invested. 74,529 was my average cost per unit, this thing, right? And what was my units invested? 13.41. When I divide 10 lakh by that number, I get 13.41 units of Sensex. 10 lakh invested. Highest close was 85,836 when the fall started in, if you remember, when did the fall start? January somewhere? September, October. If you remember, September, October, not January, September, October of 24. Okay, and then you see in 7 months, you are getting returns of 15%. अभी जब फिर से मार्केट ऊपर आया था, it had gone to 85,836, you would have recovered every money, or if not yet not gone, still you are at 15% at this point. Profits in 7 months after you have invested totally. सिंपल है, बहुत डिफिकल्ट नहीं है. अच्छा, यही जगह पे स्टॉक्स में भी कर सकते हैं सेम चीज. इंस्टेड ऑफ इंडेक्स, स्टॉक्स वुड गिव यू मोर अल्फा, बट अल्फा कम्स विथ मोर रिस्क. हियर लो रिस्क. Currently, the current fall has given you 15% return using this strategy because the fall was deeper than 15%. Simple. उसके बाद नीचे नहीं गया, बट आपने पूरा पैसा डिप्लॉय कर दिया विद इन नेक्स्ट 5 वीक्स. जो आपका पैसा बचा था 75%, you invested 15% in 5 installments. End of the story. Every week SIP, weekly SIP. Okay. Next. That's it. So basically, it's not very difficult. Was it a zero risk strategy almost? Except you being the risk and the end of the world. So that did not happen. So you got 15% return in current correction. Okay. Now you have any questions, queries, anybody from online, from here, people sitting here on, in physical, way. You all are welcome to ask me any questions based on this, whatever you want to know. Yes, Ranvijay.
So why were we talking about 7 years? As you usually talk about 7 years.
Because what happens, the money that I have seen goes to 7 years, in 7 years, within 7 years, not even 7 years, within 7 years. Now that was a very valid question, very beautiful question, because see, I've left it as it is on the sidelines. I said this strategy should be for 7 years, but if it happens in 7 months, you should be happy. But then 7 years could give you something extraordinary. What is that extraordinary thing? If you see any chart of Sensex, can we have Sensex chart open? Can we open? I'll show you. You go to any time correction, you see time correction, not the price correction. Sensex from top to bottom may consume maybe 10 months, 9 months on an average, but revert back is maybe 24 months. Back to the original value of the peak, maybe 24 months from the bottom. So that consumes how many? Almost 3 years, right? Or less than 3 years. After that, it will break out into new highs. So if it goes up, then that is where that 7 years, your money could double also. Your money could double. And that's the reason it is 7 years. So fantastic question actually, because if you want to double your money by having zero risk, 7 years का view रखो, 3 साल में हो जाए, nothing like it, right? You can start withdrawing when you see your money getting doubled and keep sipping again, maybe double the quantity. Now you have double the money, right? So you can do double the quantity. Possible, right? Am I making sense to all of you? Yes, guys? Does it make sense? Is it logical? Is it feasible? Do you think it is, or is it impossible to do it? Like risk 0% impossible. I have defined 2 risks only. What are those 2 risks? One is end of world, another is you. But other than that, do you think this is a zero risk strategy? Yes, what do you think? Have we been able to justify it zero risk? Because Sensex cannot go to zero or Nifty cannot go to zero. Why, you know? Not because Nifty cannot go to zero, but because whenever there is a bad stock in the Nifty or Sensex, it gets replaced with a better stock. So you are having more, you know, I could say powerful Nifty or Sensex or the index. So chances are, let's say हमारी body का एक part टूट गया, we had to cut this off. We'll have prosthetic which is not natural, which is not better. It is not great. But in case of Nifty, they will replace that bad part, that bad finger, replace it with a better finger or better limb, which can run even faster. So that's the beauty of having Nifty or Sensex as your, you know, means stock to go to as a zero risk. See, if you invested in stocks, let's assume you invested in 10 stocks, they may not perform equally. They may even do lesser than Nifty sometimes, because our stock selection can be wrong. But this cannot go wrong. And this is the easiest thing. I am saying if you are technical analyst, then you should not be looking at this. If anybody here who is a technical analyst other than my mentees, yeah. So for you, this is a great strategy. Or people who are technical analysts, I would say, give, you know, teach this strategy to your kids or your wife, your spouse. Why? Why do you think? Yeah, so please ask questions from online. So if you give it to your spouse, she will do it diligently. Being a technical analyst, I will try to find a support level. है ना? Or I will try to do something extraordinary with my systems, which I know. But somebody who has zero knowledge of technicals, they will follow the system to the T. That's the beauty about not having knowledge sometimes. So I think, you know, means you can say you will be in better position amongst all of us for this strategy at least. और इसमें रिस्क नहीं है, टेंशन नहीं है, आपको वही करना है जब है. Otherwise, if I am not investing, I will start investing when I see this kind of situation. I will wait for my money. 3 साल में एक टाइम तो आएगा ही ना, तो 3 साल ही वेट करना है और क्या. उसमें सभी एक तो फॉल हो गया अभी 15-16% का. We'll have to maybe see.
Sir, can we calculate probably opportunity cost in between the time?
Like what?
So suppose today I think, let's say we are talking right now. We don't see the fall. one more year.
अच्छा साथ में पकड़
Yeah, so probably what might happen is, say, uh, tomorrow we think about starting investing in this. The fall doesn't come for, say, 1 year or 2 years.
That's why 7 years.
Yeah,
That's why the 7 years. Let's assume you started today
yeah,
and market goes up instead of going down. Our whole system was thought on process क्या था कि नीचे गिरेगा, अगर नीचे नहीं गिरा तो ऊपर गया तो 7 साल में एक फॉल तो आएगा
that's what
और
I'm
फिर से
saying.
ऊपर जाएगा
But if we are
और आप सिपिंग कर रहे हो.
if we are talking about the strategy one, say if I divide it into two, one is the time part and one is the
Correction,
systematic
month, 8 and 9 month. Don't go before that. So what is here? We have an answer for that. What is that answer? When you see 15% fall, you put 25%. And then wait for somebody who doesn't want to have those kind. No, sir, no, I have not tested. You can test it and you can do it. But because I know this index works in this fashion, see, Nifty is a balanced index. It has multiple, 50 characters, which are from different segments. The stocks are from not from the same segment. That is challenge. And the telecom, pagers went to zero, if you remember. I hope you understand paging system to zero.
Yeah.
So if you justify that, so that's why I don't want to recommend it for any other index.
Okay.
I hope it has been answered properly.
There is one Govind Bal Prasad. If FI selling continues, then what happens?
7 years. That's the reason 7 years. Come back.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't lose money actually. You make money. Maybe it will be market returns or maybe it will be below market return. But then I've given you a better efficient system.
now probably because much bigger chart.
No, I have not, because I somehow I am not a person who looks further than Indian markets.
No, I'm not saying because of that. Why I'm saying is, for Nifty we are looking at a more mature
See, I'll tell
chart
you,
of
if you see Dow history, Dow has seen corrections of 17 years sideways,
yeah, that's what I'm
34
saying.
years one side upside rally in past.
Yeah,
So I have not broken that down, but I have never tried. Maybe we all can try. Maybe we can work out. But seriously, I have not. So I cannot help you on that side. Okay. So now let me give you one beautiful perspective about why. Do you want to become a good trader? All of you want to become good traders, guys. Do you want to become very good traders? Disciplined traders. Disciplined traders. What is the challenge that you face when you are trading in market? Emotions. Right? All of you face challenges with emotions, guys. Am I right? All of you? Emotions are the biggest culprits that take away all your profits many a times. After you cut, mostly the price goes up, your long positions, and after you sell, mostly the markets fall or your stock falls because there is emotion involved. Because there is, the smart money tests you. Many times it is false breakouts and breakdowns where you get trapped. Majority of us get trapped in stocks mostly on false breakouts and breakdowns, right? So how can you become better traders without, being too emotional about markets or anything? So I have found, I will tell you, if you want to become a very good trader, the simplest thing to do is think like a machine. Whatever you put in a machine, let's say you put a plastic pellets and you want a toy. A toy, maybe it's a bat, plastic bat. If you put plastic pellets, what will come out if it's a machine that manufactures bats? You tell me, what will come out? Plastic bat only? Or you will get a wooden bat? Not possible. Impossible. So whatever you put in machine, whatever you want result will be given to you, right? So machines work on simple parameters. What are those? Do they have mind like AI? No. So they work on whatever you have instructed the machine, it will give you the result. 2 plus 2 is always 4. Likewise, machines also think in that fashion. They are very logical. You have to become logical. Is it possible to become logical overnight? Very difficult, right? Very difficult. But if I give you a tool that makes you a better trader, better trader. I'm not saying you will become a good trader or best trader, but if you are thinking like a machine, if you start looking and behaving the way, I'm not saying physical appearance like machine, but if you start trading in the way the machine trades, that's algo. Yeah.
Sir, thinking or executing?
Both. So obviously execution is where you stop thinking, because like machine, so machine doesn't have thought ना, उसको तो जो बोला है उतना ही करेगा, उससे ज्यादा नहीं करेगा. तो आपको उतना ही करना है जितना मतलब सिंपल है. देखो, लेट्स अज्यूम you have a system which says I will buy if price goes above 50 DEMA. Simple logic. Is there any means any kind of confusion here कि 50 DEMA के ऊपर खरीदना में कोई confusion हो सकता है? Anything possible? Anybody who can say कि I have a confusion when to buy above 50 DEMA? No, it's very simple. 50 DEMA ये लाइन है, लाइन के ऊपर प्राइस गया तो मुझे खरीदना है. Are we clear? So if you have the system and if you have tested the system and it gives you returns which are better than what you have ever seen, without putting any thought, any emotion, any means anything into it, just blindly follow the system, and you have tested it for last maybe 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, on maybe 30 minutes. You are intraday trader और आपने जब भी देखा है 30 minutes में, if I'm just giving a hypothetical, this is a hypothetical example, this is not true example, please understand this. This is a very hypothetical example. This is not true. I'm just giving you for an example so how you can become a better trader. Let's say I have tested, I have gone to intraday chart on 30 minutes, 50 DEMA जब भी cross हुआ, index has given 200 points on an average. On the lowest side, it has given you 80 points. On the highest side, it has given you 400 points. That's a high range, low range, and the average is 200 points. Does this data help you trade better? Yes or no?
Yes.
You can trade. Now you know what to do. 80 point तो safe है, पता है 80 के नीचे गया ही नहीं कभी. तो you take 80 points. Maybe you had 10 lots, 9 lots debit, खलास 80 points पे. 1 lot maybe zero risk. Possible है? You can run it. Maybe 25% over a period of time, 75% debit at 80 points. Khalas ho gaya, trade class. You can do that, whatever. There are 20 people sitting here. 20 people will have 20 different ways to trade that same thing. But what I'm trying to say is, does it make you a better trader? Then do you want to do something else? Do you want to do something else, or this is the simplest system? If you get trade every third day, on an average, if you get a trade every third day, would you be happy? Twice a week, 80 points, 160 points on Nifty probably. This is a hypothetical, but would you be happy as a trader? Or you want to make it over efficient? Maybe you don't want to make it over efficient. Like, is there anybody who is doing business here? Any specific business? What sort of business? No, I want somebody who's doing some physical, hardcore business, having a shop, maybe a grocery shop, maybe a jewelry store. Okay, we have a jewelry store person, right? Having a jewelry store. Now, let's say he is selling only gold in his shop. He doesn't sell silver. But then he sees silver traders are making more money. So will he stop selling gold and start selling silver from tomorrow? You have been doing this business since your forefathers' time. So you are just the first one. But बाप दादा के जमाने से चल रहा है. तो अब तो change भी नहीं करने देंगे और आप भी नहीं करोगे. Why? Because it's working for you. That 80 points is working for you. Why do you want to do anything? And what is the gold business? It's so transparent. क्या मिलता है? Making charges only. Maybe the difference in your buying cost and the selling cost. That's the only way you can make money. Sometimes you lose, so average out 0. So that making charges is what you make money. And you are happy with it. And you are doing it since ages. Maybe your generation, your third generation, jeweler. So maybe 70, 80 years since this business is in operation. Imagine 70, 80 years and you have become kind of affluent family in the area. By doing one thing continuously, doing nothing more. Problem with most of the traders is they want to do everything. They want to sell silver or buy silver also. They want to sell gold and silver also. They want to sell diamonds also or buy diamonds also, and they also want to do in textiles also. Apparel भी बेचेंगे हम. आपके बाजू में एक क्लोथ की शॉप है, दिवाली में उसमें उसमें ज्यादा गर्दी होती है, आपके पास हो सकता है कम लोग आए, 10 लोग आए, उसके पास 200 लोग आए. आपका क्वांटम बड़ा होगा, उसका छोटा होगा, बट आपको 200 दिख रहे, तो विल यू स्टार्ट सेलिंग क्लोथ्स इन योर शॉप? नो. प्रॉब्लम विद वो बुटीक होगी तो अलग है ना, वो वहां गोल्ड नहीं बेचेगी, वो वहां गोल्ड नहीं बेचेगी, राइट? वो भी हो, बट हमको तो वो बताया, जो ट्रेडर इन रियल लाइफ, यू स्टिक मार्केट्स, आई वांट टू डू एवरीथिंग, ऑप्शन वाले, हाउ डू यू नो? वो सिल्वर भी बेच रहा है, हो सकता है. गो बाय इज व्हाट वी हियर. स्टिक टू योर एफिशिएंसीज. You have a system. I want to make it like you can still play na how you can use Qodrr for your benefit without even work on it. So I believe using algo trading platforms and how those algo trading platforms can give you system, and you can verify over a period of time whether it is functioning according to your choice. Then maybe you can go and or attending live or anywhere right now up to I think 31st December, we have kept it free for all of you, each one of you. So you can test, enjoy, I would say use or abuse. Try to make, that strategy, try to use it so much that it should. Beautiful example, I spoke to Jayant. I said, Jayant, can this system, take 1,000 trades in a minute? He said, sir, if it cannot, then I said, okay, can it take 10 lakh, consumers, users, can it sustain that? तो बोले सर अगर वो लाख में नेगेटिव, तो नहीं चला तो क्या, crash? Yes.
Sir, 2 more questions before you conclude.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Online. Sir, please, your latest views on the market.
Well, I'm always bullish. I'm a bull. Now that particular low I have already mentioned on Twitter in my few days ago tweet. Till it doesn't break, I'm not panicking. And I'm not going to do anything on the short side.
And the last question is, Fidai sir, possibility is there like even Indian index can go like Japanese index? That is,
Markets are so still we are as an economy. I'm not looking at markets as per se index, but I'm looking at
wonderful session given by Mr. Anas Fidai, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce algo trading platform called Qodrr.com with some basics of algo trading, some basics of algo trading. What is that buzzword and all? How as a retail trader we my session, and definitely I'll be happy to take up few of your questions and queries as well, if in case. All right, so before we just start, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Jayant. Basically I'm from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Stock markets was always fascinated for me as well as everybody, so I was into the market for close to 12 plus years, mostly into the FNO segment. I had an opportunity to do little bit programming over the financial markets instruments as well, and that's where we started thinking about Qodrr, and here we are today. So I've been working on this application for past more than 5 years, I can say, into the algo world. How we can yeah. So we have a website with name Qodrr.com. It's a Qodrr.com, and giving our sign up completely in the free form. There is no charges for creating an accounts or operating algo through our platform, and you will be having your credential ready with you in your email, which you can use for sign in. So I think we can directly jumping into the application side. We start with something basics. So I think Fidai sir has already shared market timing of 1 month to weekly charts origin, right? Now think in a way we wanted to implement the similar kind of the movement in the market or instrument. So how can we do in a way so that a lot of screen time from us, we have to be within some form of program and deploy it somewhere into the computer, basic thing. So now people call it those computer SaaS or servers do that job behalf of you people. Certain creating an algo, the important part starts with, creating an algo, the important part starts with, discussing about the right set of data. If your data itself is not right, then how could you expect that your algo or your strategy will work out very well? So these are the parameters where most of the algos goes in and out, where data is not in the correct form. So data is very important. Of course, there are a lot of buzzwords going around the data analysis, AI and all. It's pretty much almost similar. Everything start with data. कि डेटा का क्या करेंगे, डेटा कहाँ से आएगा, डेटा वो कितना क्लीन मिलेगा कि हमारी एल्गो जो हम चार्ट में देख पा रहे हैं वो का वो एग्जीक्यूट भी होने वाला है. If there is a not harmony in all these things, then definitely whatever the decision is going to be made by a computer or by a program will not be sync as per your original strategy which you might be managing manually. So आज की I think in today's world, I think most of the people are heavily using TradingView because of their user friendly interfaces and a little bit of interaction through some brokers as well in India now. But I think not too many as focused as I might have done on their data side. उनका डेटा कितना रिलेवेंट है जो NSE के एक्चुअल वेंडर्स के थ्रू डेटा आ रहा है उसमें. अगर वो डेटा ही डिफरेंस के साथ आ रहा है या वो डेटा मेरी अगर जो 15 मिनट की कैंडल या आधे घंटे की कैंडल बननी चाहिए उसके ओपन हाई लो क्लोज मैच नहीं हो रहे हैं, तो वो डेटा मुझे कैसे हेल्प करेगा ट्रेडिंग व्यू का उस सही स्ट्रेटजी को रन करने में. तो ये एक सबसे बड़ा मेजर डिफरेंस है. सो इवन बिफोर जंपिंग इनटू द वर्ल्ड और एल्गो वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि उसके लिए इंग्रेडिएंट्स क्या क्या चाहिए. सो द मेजर इंग्रेडिएंट्स इज टू हैव द राइट and authenticate data feed, and of course accessing a data feed itself is a not very easy job. अगर आप NSE की feed भी लेने जाएंगे तो काफी expensive affair हो जाता है. तो being as a retailer, I think it is not basically viable for us to go for that solutions, but there are a lot of ways. There are vendors available to whom you can connect and look for the right data feeds. So in Qodrr also we tried most of the things in our past, and we ensure that the kind of a data we are going to use for any instrument which we supposed to trade is good enough, which is realistic as being shown on NSE servers, so that our whatever set of rules or algos we will define will be aligned, and we can get the surety that okay, my set of rules are going to execute very well, and probably whatever the outcomes come from that, we are 100% sure it will match based on our understanding. So this is one very important aspect which most of the people literally ignored. That's the important key to understand कि data पहले सही होना चाहिए. हमने data सही correct कर दिया. What next? अब बात आती है एक simple सी strategy की. Most of the people in this room, I believe that understand there are a lot of technical indicators available which we typically use on our offline charting softwares or online charting softwares to define our buy or sell criteria. It's very simple. आज हम एक छोटे से इंडिकेटर की बात करेंगे जो MNS फिदाई साहब ने सिखाया हुआ है, मूविंग एवरेज. एक मूविंग एवरेज के छोटे से इंडिकेटर को लेके हम अपनी कैसे एक सिंपल सी स्ट्रेटजी बना सकते हैं जो शायद हम ऑलरेडी चार्टिंग पे ऑफलाइन से चला रहे हैं. And the similar kind of a strategy which probably we can run as algo as well, where you don't need to go through with lot of interactions in front of the screen. तो आज हम वही ट्राई करेंगे कोडर प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू, और मैं अपने कुछ फीचर्स एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि हमारे फीचर्स किस तरह से आपको प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से आपको डिफाइन कर सकते हैं आपकी एल्गोस को वेरी वेल, एंड हाउ इजीली यू कैन मैनेज इन योर डे इन डे आउट ऑपरेशंस. ओके, so after sign up probably you can just log in our account, and then you will have a sections manage strategy. So manage strategy में जाने के बाद में we have a form build strategy. तो build strategy is basically the place where you are going to define your algo sets. तो अब इसको ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं करते हैं, बार बार एल्गो वगैरह बोल के, सिंपल शब्दों में बात करें तो एक फॉर्म है और हमें पता है कि हमें क्या रूल बनाने हैं, हमें तो बस वही डिफाइन करना है, दैट्स इट. व्हेन आई एम वेरी क्लियर कि मुझे मूविंग एवरेज 10 क्रॉस ओवर 20 पे अगर वो नीचे से ऊपर जाता है तो मुझे बाय करना है, ऊपर से नीचे जाता है तो मुझे सेल करना है. इट्स बेसिकली 10 to 20 क्रॉस ओवर मूविंग एवरेज स्ट्रेटेजी. अब टाइम फ्रेम आपको जो पसंद आ रही है वो आप ले लीजिए, जिस पे आपका कंफर्ट है, जिस पे आप ऑलरेडी ट्रेड कर रहे हैं. तो बी इट अ 1 मिनट और बी इट अ 1 आवर, राइट. सो टाइम फ्रेम अपना डिफाइन हो गया. इसका मतलब ये हो गया कि हमने उसी कैंडल को कंसीडर कर लिया है जो हम शायद ऑफलाइन चार्ट पे भी देख रहे हैं या ऑफलाइन टूल पे भी देख रहे हैं. तो इससे हमें ये क्लैरिटी मिल जाएगी कि जो मेरी ऑफलाइन में मैं स्ट्रेटजी बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ शायद मैं वो यहाँ पे भी रेप्लिकेट कर सकता हूँ. तो सिंपल सी चीज है जो हम फर्स्ट फॉर्म में कलेक्ट करते हैं, वो आगे आपका स्ट्रेटजी का नाम, उसके बाद में ब्रोकर का सिलेक्शन है. बेसिकली बाय द वे ये हमारा जो प्लेटफॉर्म है आपको ऑटोमेटेड ट्रेडिंग की कैपेबिलिटी भी देता है, बट ड्यू टू सेबी गाइडलाइंस एंड ऑल वी आर नॉट एनकरेजिंग यूजर्स राइट नाउ to go ahead and do the automations. Probably will take little time to make it even available to most of the users to trade automatically directly to brokers. We are in that process basically to have our license ready for the software for automation. But at the moment you can definitely have a notifications coming into your WhatsApp number directly in the form of WhatsApp message based on the criteria, and you can trigger the similar kind of order whenever it happens and directly punch that order to your prospective broker. तो इसको broker select आप default consider कर सकते हैं. Then we have a start time and end time duration. So थोड़ा सा मैं यहाँ focus करने वाला हूँ. Start time and end time क्यों define कर रहे हैं? काफी जो active traders होते हैं जो intraday mostly करते हैं, so they have a certain period of volatility of the market where they enjoy to take too many trades. And then after they wanted to shut down their trade or day off, they call it day off. So you can define your timings. क्या मुझे 9:30 से 10:30 ही काम करना है, इस एल्गो को मुझे या इस सिस्टम को मुझे 9:30 से 10:30 ही रन करना है, उसके बाद में क्या होता है मुझे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. So you define your time duration here based on your preference. So our systems will try to execute those sets during that duration only. तो ये थोड़ा वहां हेल्प आउट करता है जहां हम काफी हैवीली और काफी एक्टिवली ट्रेड करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं मार्केट में. एंड इट ट्राई टू बेसिकली डिफाइन द बाउंड्रीज एज एन अ ट्रेडर फॉर यू, बिकॉज सम टाइम हम काफी इंपल्सिव हो जाते के मूवमेंट्स को देख के कि नहीं हमें तो आज और काम करना है, हमें तो आज और ऑर्डर्स पंच करने हैं, एंड दैट्स वेयर वी स्टार्टेड लूजिंग आवर एज. तो एल्गो यहाँ हेल्प करता है आपको कि आप बाउंड्रीज के अंदर रह के ही काम करोगे, और ये बाउंड्रीज आप ही की डिफाइन की हुई है. तो इसी तरह से सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बाउंड्री, पहली जो बाउंड्रीज आती है टाइम ड्यूरेशन की. देन आफ्टर आप स्ट्रेटजी प्राइवेट बना रहे हैं, ये आपको आपके ही अकाउंट में दिखने वाली है, इसलिए इसको हमने स्ट्रेटजी एज ए प्राइवेट टाइप कर दिया है. वी कैन गो टू द नेक्स्ट फॉर्म एंड टॉक अबाउट सम डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स. सो सेगमेंट सिलेक्शंस, तो एज ऑन टुडे आवर प्लेटफॉर्म इज सपोर्टिंग द डेटा फीड. जो डेटा हम कैप्चर कर रहे हैं, लाइव डेटा फीड टिक बाय टिक अराउंड निफ्टी 500 सिंबल्स हम ट्रैक कर रहे हैं जिसपे आप ट्रेड कर सकते हैं. So which involve like a future and options market, NSE cash market, and थोड़ा बहुत आप indices options पे भी आप ट्राई कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद में we will select for the demo purpose NFO. Basically हम future में एक trade की strategy बना रहे हैं. Time frame selection, so the time frame basically the kind of a support we provide from our platform is starting from 1 minute scalping to 1 hour. So mostly as I mentioned, like इन्वेस्टमेंट को भी हम मैनेज कर सकते हैं 1 डे की चार्टिंग पे, 1 मंथ की चार्टिंग पे. दीज आर द फ्यू फीचर्स प्रोबेबली वी विल बी डेवलपिंग इन नियर सम टाइम. तो अभी हम मान के चलते हैं 15 मिनट की स्ट्रेटजी हम बना रहे हैं जो 10 by 20 क्रॉस ओवर की है. एंड द स्टॉक सिलेक्शन प्रोबेबली वी कैन सेलेक्ट निफ्टी इंडेक्स पे अपन काम करेंगे. एंड द चार्ट टाइप, सो अगर हमें आइडिया है तो बेसिक चार्ट कैंडलस्टिक पैटर्न जो हम चेक करते हैं वो मोस्टली OHLCL चार्ट बोला जाता है. तो जो भी ओपन आई लो क्लोज का भाव होगा जिस पे कैंडिल कंसीडर होंगे calculations technical indicators की, वो we can select from here, right? And then the important part is selecting the right indicators for developing your strategy. So we have a support for few of the inbuilt indicators already, right? And we can keep on growing that indicator list based on the user requirement as well. तो अभी हम moving average select कर लेते हैं यहाँ से, and then we have a crosses and the crossover. So crosses is nothing but the when price point, instrument price point crosses that moving average, वो हम support कर सकते हैं, और हम जो strategy बनाने जा रहे हैं वो crossover है. So like we will be having a crossover selection here. And then this again, since moving average are available in the different form, simple average, moving average, exponential, double exponential, there are many more, but as on today this is something what we've been supporting. So we'll select simple, and then we'll put a value called 10. After that we can, for crossover comparison, we will use another moving average value as 20, simple moving average, and we'll go to the next form. But yeah, one second, can you go back? So here, as on today, if you can see, we have selected only single indicator, but sometime as a trader you think that having so many indicators on chart looks very fancy or looks very pro. But trust me, the more indicators you will introduce, I think the more complexity basically you are injecting. So typically, as per our analysis, we always emphasize to users to basically come up with the 2 or 3 level of filters, not more than that. So we have a support of adding more filters. You can click on the add button and define more different indicator selection. So in that way, whatever the strategy you are thinking of with the combination of couple of technical indicators, you can support in that way. But as I mentioned, we always encourage user to keep it very simple, not complex with 3 or 4 or 5 indicators basically, where you are you think that no, this strategy is really future proof, but ultimately when you go with the backtesting data of few years, and then you find out eventually it's like way complicated to manage, right? So we can go to the next page. So here now, as a strategy maker, I feel that my strategy should have a stop loss and target as well, क्योंकि वो बहुत important है. उसी के चक्कर में हम दिन भर मोबाइल देखते रहते हैं, उसी के चक्कर में हम दिन भर चार्ट देखते रहते हैं. तो यहाँ पर इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ये है कि आप आपका स्टॉप लॉस डिफाइन कर दीजिए इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉइंट और परसेंटेज. तो मेरी जो स्ट्रेटेजी है आज मैं इस पे 1.5% का एसएल डिफाइन करना चाह रहा हूँ. सो आई कैन डिफाइन सिंपली 1.5% एसएल, एंड हियर आई कैन डिफाइन टारगेट एज ए 2%. सिंपल 1:1, ऑलमोस्ट 1:1 स्ट्रेटेजी बना रहे हैं, जस्ट प्लेन वनीला, एंड विल गो नेक्स्ट. या अब सिंस द सेगमेंट वाज फ्यूचर, so I can mention simply the one lot as one contract I am planning to trade. So I can put 1 here. Yeah. अगर यहाँ पर NSE का कोई कैश का स्टॉक we are planning to trade, then you can define number of shares, 500, 1000, 5000, whatever you think of. Okay. So the execution type, this is something very important. As I mentioned, like our current platform itself is capable enough to do the automation as well. It can directly punch orders to your broker, but as I mentioned, due to SEBI compliance and all, we are planning to be aligned in the compliance framework as well. So until that, we will not encourage you to use this platform for automation, but definitely those notifications come to you where you can validate whether the platform is behaving exactly in the same manner as you are expecting it to behave on your offline charts. So you can use notify trade. So the moment you will select the notify trade, basically it will create a trade lock within our system. It will not punch any order to broker. It will immediately shoot out a WhatsApp message on your mobile number with certain format informing that so and so instrument has been triggered a sale at so and so time. So that time match you can also check on the offline charts to verify whether the executions are happening correct or not. And this is how. Yeah. And there are certain basic information required basically in order to fill up the order form to the broker. So you can select IOC and then order type as a market, because it's always important to have your algo order being accepted at exchange immediately. अदरवाइज क्या होगा, आपके ऑर्डर बुक में ऑर्डर्स काफी पड़े रहेंगे अगर वो आपको कंप्लीटेड नहीं हुए ऑन टाइम, एंड देन यू मे स्टार्ट फीलिंग दैट orders complete नहीं हुए, then again lot of orders are being going offline, online, you are also trying out of the box, so many things can happen. So in algo world it's always emphasized to use market order. Fill हो जाए तो हो जाए, नहीं हो जाए तो पता पड़ जाए immediately. So it will help us out to clarify a lot of errors, lot of gaps. And then the product type, of course. So I was, I think, building a strategy on a 15-minute chart. So for the time being, I'll go with the intraday. So intraday will basically help you out to square off your positions at the before the market close, because each and every broker have their own timings of squaring off the intraday positions. I think Zerodha have a 320, Angel or some others have probably around 310, 315. So that's where we have given the time period in the first step कि आप ब्रोकर बोल रहा है 3:20 पे काटोगे, आप 3:15 पे काट लो या 3:10 पे काट लो, उससे होगा ये कि इट विल प्रोटेक्ट यू बेसिकली, क्योंकि ब्रोकर अपने जब ऑर्डर काटना आता है वो फिर वो एंड ऑफ द डे पे स्क्वायर ऑफ के लिए कुछ भी करता है. तो दैट्स वेयर यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ मिसमैच कि आपके तो 4 लॉट थे वो 5 कैसे हो गए स्क्वायर ऑफ, या एक एडिशनल लॉट कैसे खड़ा हो गया. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स हैपन because ultimately there are technical things involved where such kind of things happen from the broker side as well. So we always emphasize आपका time duration strategy का 5-10 मिनट square off से आगे ही रखें, so that it will have a very clean way of managing your system. Then the nicest feature we have is the continue with previous trade. अब ये basically हमारी research का एक बात का outcome है, where we felt that our trades are going for few days and sometimes a few weeks as well, and in between what happened, because of the market volatility, either it will hit your stop loss or it may give you the target profit before, but even though the trend signal is continuing in the similar direction and you feel left out, you feel कि अरे यार 500 पॉइंट मिल रहे थे, मैं तो 150 में ही बाहर आ गया. So that's where we developed this feature called continue with previous trade. What you can define here is, if you define as always, then it's almost like a machine gun. It will ensure you to put that within the trade every time. The moment your SL will be hit, immediately after the next execution, it will put you back into the same trade. Similarly, if your target was achieved, if the trend is continue, immediately in the next execution, it will put you back into the same trade, so that you will be 100% time within the market. You are not out of the market. So it's always, this is very unique and I would say very risky feature, where you have to be very much sure how to consume that. But we have this option available. Sometimes it works very well for swing trades, and that's where we are also personally using, where the trend goes on for a couple of days and week, right? So it becomes very handy. On only market open, it defines that at some time we feel that our stop got triggered at 320 or 315 before the market closed basically, but you feel that no, my gut feeling says that I should go back into the trade, and that trade should only happen irrespective of the market open condition, gap up, gap down, I should be back into the same trade. So select only market open. It will immediately throw the order for you for the last trade at 9:15 sharp within few seconds, within the matter of few seconds. This is how it works. So that's the beauty of continue with previous trade, but as I mentioned, we have to use it very consciously, because it will always keep you within the game. Yeah. Then the next feature we have is max intraday trade. Now things always works very well in the market, stock market, when it's trending, but unfortunately the trending markets are only for the 35 to 40% of the entire year duration, and most of the time we have the sideways market. And within the sideways market, I think the beauty is like it will put you here and there, top to bottom, like buy at top, sell at sell at a low. This is how, as a retailer, most of the time we used to get trapped. So in to handle the sideways market situations, also to protect ourselves, we can define how many trades I would like to take from this strategy within the day, within the intraday time frame. So you can define simply 4, 5, whatever number you think of. Otherwise, as I mentioned, just think of that combination. You selected continue with previous trade and market is going here and there. So like your order book will be crazy on that day. You have an n number of orders being punched behalf of you through this strategy. So such kind of things you might not be able to capture very well when you do the offline backtesting or probably with any software, even from my software. These are the practical experiences we try to implement, and we try to ensure that these kind of things should happen there, should be available for the users, क्योंकि वो बहुत नॉर्मल चीज दिख जाती है और ओवरसाइट भी हो जाती है. सो यू कैन डिफाइन द मैक्स इंट्राडे ट्रेड. इफ विल पुट इट एज अ जीरो, then it means there is a no limit on intraday orders. It can go to whenever the signal conditions will be meeting. Yeah. And then we have some strategy configuration. Actually, I forgot to talk about the different charting options we have supported from our software. So OHLC chart is the basic chart which everybody works. उसके अलावा we support the Renko chart as well, and we have a Heikin-Ashi as well. So we developed this include gap feature specifically to support the Renko charts. I'm not sure of if everybody is aware of the Renko chart or not, but Renko works on a specific brick size, the point size. और उसकी ब्यूटी ये है कि जब गैप अप गैप डाउन होता है तो उस चार्ट में दिखता ही नहीं है और लोगों को लगता है वाह क्या शानदार ट्रेंड था. और उसके हिसाब से अगर आप कैलकुलेशन करने जाओगे इंडिकेटर्स की, then it will give you such a vague and very beautiful perception कि आपको लगेगा अब यही विनिंग स्ट्रेटजी है, यही मेरा विनिंग फॉर्मूला है. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली दिस इज नॉट ए ट्रू. कंसिडरिंग द गैप्स, considering those voids in the data is also very important. So it's, if you are quite an advanced kind of a trader who is well versed with the Renkos and all, you can use those gaps or not, basically. So this is the option for them. Yeah. Once you submit that, so the strategy will be created, right? And now you can go back to the your strategy where it will list. Okay. And we can have a few options now available. Okay, your strategy has been created in our platform with whatever the sets of rules you have defined. Now let's see what we can do with that. So first thing is the check current signal. So everybody have a charting software. Okay, trading view जो भी आपका है, you have put the same indicators. You are expecting that the signal should be there on 10:45 on X date. So once you will see that, when you click on a current signal, it will give you the last signal being there for that strategy. So you can confirm, okay, if it is correct on your offline chart also, then if it is the same here as well, then everything is fine. हमारा जो भी रूल हमने बनाया था, हम जो भी स्ट्रेटेजी ट्रेड करना चाह रहे थे, is going to work in the similar fashion now. अगर यहाँ कुछ आपको मिसमैच लगता है या आपको इंपॉर्टेंट बात जो मैंने बताई, जो मेजर ऑफ आवर यूजर्स come to us and say कि trading view में तो ये टाइम बता रहा है, हमारे यहाँ पे ये टाइम क्यों बता रहा है? So that because of the way data has been considered. And as I mentioned, trading view के sources को हम रेफर नहीं करते हैं. We try to prefer के जो NSE के भाव हैं, NSE के prices हैं, हमारा भी डेटा उतना ही रियलिस्टिक हो. So our data, our prices are almost 99.9% matched with the NSE की copy. So we do not encourage user to come and compare it with the trading view. Let's try to compare it the signals with some genuine data coming to any broker platform and verify your signals. So that can give you the surety कि आपकी जो offline में वो chart पे जो आपने indicator लगाए थे, उससे जो buy sell का signal दिख रहा है, वो match हो रहा है. If it is sure, now we are good to go for the further operations. Yeah. Can you go back to the 3 dots? Actions. Yeah. And then the deploy button. So that deploy button is our responsibility. अभी हमने सिस्टम बना दिया, अभी हमने वो एक सिंपल प्लेन वनीला स्ट्रेटजी को एक कंप्यूटर के इंस्ट्रक्शन को दे दिया है. बट यहां पर हमारी भी लाइबिलिटी आती है कि अब हमें अगर हमारे सिस्टम से ट्रेड लेने हैं, then you have to do certain operations on a daily basis for sure. Because ऑटोमेटेड ट्रेड तो एनीवेज अभी तक इतना रेगुलेटेड हुआ नहीं इंडियन मार्केट में, तो वी कांट डू टू मेनी ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग. सो यूजर्स आर लायबल टू डिप्लॉय देयर क्रिएटेड स्ट्रेटजी ऑन अ डेली बेसिस. दे कैन डू इट बिफोर द मार्केट ओपन्स or they can do with it during the markets also open. तो before और after में क्या फर्क आएगा थोड़ा मैं वो भी बता देता हूँ. So sometime what happens, you know, in the first few minutes of the movement of the market as well, we used to get the signals. अगर आपने स्ट्रेटजी का टाइम 9:15 to 3:30 भी कर दिया है, एंड देन स्ट्रेटजी का सिग्नल 5 मिनट की स्ट्रेटजी है, आपने 9:45 या 10:50 के 10 बजे के आसपास आपने डिप्लॉय किया, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली सिग्नल आ गया 9:35 पे, एंड यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग टू ट्रेड दैट, तो वो नहीं होगा, क्योंकि आपकी स्ट्रेटजी तो डिप्लॉय नहीं थी. आप कहां से सिग्नल एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे? तो यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा हमें भी रेस्पॉन्सिबल बनना पड़ता है इन ऑर्डर टू मेक श्योर, बिकॉज सिस्टम उसी को बोलते हैं, इट्स ऑल अबाउट द डिसिप्लिन. तो जैसा फिदाई सर ने भी इनकी स्पीच में बताया था कि मार्केट में सबसे बड़ा फियर हम खुद हैं, लॉस करने का सबसे बड़ा रीजन हम खुद हैं, तो वो इसीलिए है बिकॉज वी आर नॉट दैट डिसिप्लिन. तो समवेयर इवन इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग एल्गो सिस्टम, यू हैव टू बी वेरी डिसिप्लिन इन ऑर्डर टू एग्जीक्यूट इट. So how you manage that execution, there are certain operations probably individual can define very well at their end, but yeah, these are the certain duties which we have to do that. Although if you miss to deploy that strategy on time and you forgot to take that trade, so we had that option continue with previous trade. If you really feel कि यार जो trade miss हुआ था मुझे तो वापस चढ़ना है उस पे, उस घोड़े को तो मैं नहीं जाने दूंगा, तो आप कुछ नहीं करिए, आप जाइए कंटिन्यू विद प्रीवियस ट्रेड ऑलवेज करिए, एंड यू विल बी बैक इनटू द ट्रेड इन फ्यू मिनट्स. तो दिस इज हाउ दोस फीचर्स हेल्प अस. जब कुछ मैसअप होता है, कुछ हम ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, हम भूल गए, एंड वी फील कि हमारी गट फीलिंग बोल रही है नहीं ये ट्रेड तो मुझे लेना चाहिए, तो टू कंपनसेट दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स वी हैव द फीचर कंटिन्यू विद प्रीवियस ट्रेड. सो deployment of this strategy always encouraged to do before the market opens, right? And that deployment will you allow based on the execution type, whether it will send the automated trade to your broker or a notification to your WhatsApp message. Okay, so this is the operations we can do. And then after update strategy, can you just click on update strategy once? If you think, as I mentioned, you wanted to update certain parameters or you wanted to go for the continue with previous trade, you can simply go to the same strategy, define whatever you want, and then come back. So update का option भी आपको मिल जाएगा, right? And important thing to understand here, like you know, updating your strategy during the market hours can impact your performance, because again यहाँ पे discretionary को आपने थोड़ा सा sidelines पे कर दिया, and then आप अपना manual intervention काफी enjoy कर रहे हैं. So I always emphasize to basically you know use the update strategy offline after the market hours, or maybe you know even before deploying your strategy, or you know making sure that you are ready to start you know enjoying your system. You should be thorough enough what you are configuring here, चाहे कोई इंडिकेटर हो या कोई स्ट्रेटजी का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का पार्ट हो. सो इट्स ऑलवेज एम्फसाइज. अदरवाइज बैक टेस्टिंग आपको बोलेगी कि 70% रिटर्न, और आप जब एक्चुअल में चलाओगे वो 17% आ रहा है. तो वो इन रीजंस की वजह से आता है कि हम डिसिप्लिन नहीं हो पा रहे हैं, हम सिस्टम को सिस्टम की तरह काम नहीं करने दे रहे हैं, एंड देयर आर अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ गैप्स इन बिटवीन. ओके, नाउ वी हैव अ फीचर कॉल्ड रिपेयर स्ट्रेटजी. अब रिपेयर स्ट्रेटजी सर ऐसा है, let's suppose you have an open position within the market with the 10 lots. You were very bullish, the long was going very well for certain days, but eventually what happened is after certain great days, few great days, we have a sudden market structure of a sideways movement, and that's where you start bombard, you know, triggering of the orders, and you started losing the trades. So you immediately thought as a trader, I would like to reduce my position. अभी जो 10 लॉट चल रहे थे मुझे उसको 5 करना है, तो क्या करना है? तो आप जाओगे मैनुअली ब्रोकर के यहाँ काटोगे और फिर सब कुछ मिसमैनेज हो जाएगा. So let your system do that. So what you can go is you can go back to the update strategy. In the position size, you can reduce your position size to 10 to 5 and just click on the repair strategy. So behalf of you, our system will automatically adjust your open positions and ensure that going ahead in whatever the trade will come up, it will take the position size accordingly. And vice versa, you can do that. Again, if you wanted to go back from 5 to 10 lots, you can do that. So this kind of a feature comes handy when you have an open position in the market. Okay, managing your position at the run time. You don't need to do a lot of manual work. You have to call your broker, hey, just reduce my position, wo utne load kaat do, itna kaat do, kuch nahi. We will take care of it. Just define the rules as we are expecting, and then it will do the job. Okay. Now you can quickly go to the backtesting strategy as well. Okay. So this is, of course, the place where most of the trader would like to enjoy their time. Okay, so we do have a backtesting feature where you can simply define the capital, initial capital of your investment. Let's consider 5 lakh for the time being. You are deploying a 5 lakh, and let's see what kind of a results comes up from the strategy we created. Okay, we have a back data of tick data available for 3 years at the moment. We can increase the data length as well, but let's see for last few years, a few months, what happened from January 1st to till date. Keep the product as a delivery, that's fine. I mean, you can just check it what happened if we just continue to write the strategy. Okay, so the first form is statistics. Lot of states. Being as a programmer, I can read most of the things, but I don't enjoy as a trader. Okay, but anyways, if you would like to go, what was the profit factor, what was the average win trade, I just take up a few points out of it, not the entire summary, because वो एक बहुत basic term है analysis. Lot of analysis comes up with a lot of paralysis as well. तो जितना हम simple रखेंगे system को, जितना हम data को data की तरह ही consume करेंगे, then it will make your mind very clean. So just try to figure it out. What are the average points of loss we have taken in account? It might help you to define your SL very well. So you can get the idea. चलो 150 पॉइंट का लॉस तो एवरेज ही होता है, तो 175 का एसएल रख देते हैं. तो probability you can define in that way to make your system more profitable. Similar way, winning trade average देख लीजिए क्या आ रहा है, 400 पॉइंट आ रहा है, 250 पॉइंट आ रहा है. Based on that, as a pro trader, I will say अच्छा 400 का टारगेट आ रहा है तो मैं 350 का टारगेट सेट कर देता हूं, तो मेरी विनिंग प्रोबेबिलिटी बढ़ जाएगी. Right? So it will help me out in that way. So a lot of statistics, but as a trader personally, I prefer to consume only certain things so that it can help me out to define my rules very well. Not create a bias कि ये तो काम करेगा ही करेगा. बैक टेस्टिंग बोल रही है, सर बैक टेस्टिंग डेट डेटा है, जो पास्ट में हुआ है वो रिपीट होता है बड़े चार्ट पे, इंट्राडे में नहीं, स्विंग में नहीं.
When we are talking about SL तो हमने डिफाइन कर रखी है ना, उससे ज्यादा कैसे आएगी?
नहीं सर, एवरेज की बात करी मैंने. एवरेज
कैसे करेंगे?
एवरेज, लेट्स सपोज एक ट्रेड में आपने 50 पॉइंट लॉस किया,
वो तो सी व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग दिस, एसएल सपोज अपन ने परसेंटेज पॉइंट पे डाल रखा है.
हाँ,
इट विल रिमेन सेम ना. सो द मोमेंट इट इज गोइंग देयर,
या
we are supposed to
okay. So when I say SL, I would like to correct myself. Let's suppose आपका सिग्नल स्विच हो गया, तो वो लूजिंग ट्रेड में आया शायद, तो एवरेज लूजिंग पॉइंट की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. या तो दो तरीके से होगा वो, जब तो एसएल हिट होगा या तो सिग्नल स्विच हुआ तब. तो वो हमने एक एवरेज पकड़ ली कि यार 150 पॉइंट का लॉस तो हो ही रहा है. या एग्जैक्टली, विच इज नॉट इन एट ऑल इन आवर कंट्रोल. राइट, गैप अप गैप डाउन तो कितना भी हो सकता है. तो वो आप भी अगर पॉइंट्स पकड़ते हैं, बिकॉज द टू इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज 1.5% का एसएल आपने डिफाइन किया, विच इज फाइन, बट गैप अप गैप डाउन आपके हाथ में नहीं, और कब स्विच होगा सिग्नल आपके हाथ में नहीं है. तो हमने एवरेज ले लिया, और एवरेज के अकॉर्डिंग हमने हमारी प्रोबेबिलिटी देख ली कि व्हाट इज द बेस्ट सुटेबल नंबर फॉर मी. राइट, so that's the reason even personally when I do trade, I do not consume all that information. I just consume little bit of that information which help me out to define my rules very well. Okay, उससे होता यह है कि मैं इस बायस पे नहीं रहने वाला हूं कि ये स्ट्रेटजी कल तक 70% दी थी, मेरे को आने वाले 3 महीने में भी 70% दे देगी. वो नहीं देगी, क्योंकि जो नया मार्केट स्ट्रक्चर बनने वाला है आई एम नॉट अवेयर ऑफ. आई जस्ट नीड टू फॉलो द set of rules and the market conditions in the similar direction, and this is something best I can do as a trader. If I really wanted to make money, I need to ensure that I just follow the market. without doing lot of here and there thought process. तो if हम वो भी कर सकते हैं तो definitely यहाँ आपको 70 बता रहा है, 70%, क्या पता उससे ज्यादा ही मिलेगा. It's just the fact that you have to be just behind the market, not ahead the market with so called AI strategy. वो काम नहीं करेगी बॉस. मैं उस पर भी थोड़ा बहुत बोलूंगा, because I did a lot of white paper research as well. I've been in one continued for defining some AI and ML models as well. But trust me, financial market has been driven by the big market players. So as a retailer, अगर आप AI की strategy ये वो सब कर रहे हैं, then it will be like again case of analysis paralysis. So let's keep it very simple. Simple चीजें भी पैसा बनाती है. फिदाई सर ने अभी हमें अच्छे से explain भी किया है. It's just the fact that as a retail trader we are not able to do that due to our emotion control हमारे पास नहीं है, and that's where the algo sets comes and help you out. So better to control your brain and then let system define. Let system defend you from all those kind of situations. So backtesting can give you a very good picture. It can give you the logs as well, what different trade happen in that particular duration. So you can enjoy that summary. It help you out how many trades happen, and you can revalidate on the offline chart as well. It will try to help you to create your bias whether that strategy is good enough to deploy or not. Okay. And the last tab can give you the information of equity curve as well, which probably help you out to see whether you have literally made money or not. Okay. So over the period of time, if you can see, whatever the simple strategy we have developed had a period of a rise as well and had a period of a downfall as well. So अगर आप ये blindly ये system follow करते तो आप return शायद nominally था मेरे हिसाब से, इतना कुछ ज्यादा खास भी नहीं लगा मुझे, because algo will help you to make 2x 3x 5x also. But ये period जब आता है तब यहाँ पर आपको थोड़ा बहुत patience and थोड़ा बहुत fine tuning जरूरी है. What should be your SL, whether you should be in your market or not. So if I already have doubled up my money here in the very small time frame, जो फिदाई सर ने बताया था कि 7 साल strategy चलेगी, पर 3 महीने में आपको पैसा आ गया तो आपको क्यों 7 साल वेट करना है ये दिन देखने के लिए? Why would you do that? So you can simply just switch off the system. हम आज algo नहीं चलाएंगे, हमने पैसा बना लिया. Whatever the target we had, we achieved it in that short span itself. So let's just shut down the system and go for a vacation with your profits, whatever you earn. Okay, so these are very disciplined habits which required in order to make a decent profit within the market. अगर हम ये भी लगाते तो और ये पीरियड में हम 1 महीना 2 महीना छोड़ देते कि यार अभी ट्रेड नहीं करने की इच्छा है, definitely we would have made whatever returns was shown in the backtest उससे ज्यादा. Exactly, पता कैसे चलेगा ये डिपेंड करता है मनी मैनेजमेंट पे. ओके, अब सर मनी मैनेजमेंट एक ऐसा सब्जेक्ट है वो पर्सन टू पर्सन वेरी करता है. ओके, एंड आपकी स्ट्रेटजी भी वेरी करता है, राइट. सो अगर एज ए ट्रेडर मैं एक छोटी सी कैपिटल लेके बैठा हूं एंड आई फील दैट के आई गॉट 30% रिटर्न इन अ कपल ऑफ मंथ, एज ए ट्रेडर मेरे मनी मैनेजमेंट के हिसाब से आई फील दैट के यार ये इनफ है मेरे लिए, तो आई कैन सिंपली शट डाउन द सिस्टम. बट एट द सेम टाइम इफ यू फील कि नहीं यार माई एपेटाइट इज अ लिटिल हायर, मुझे लगता है कि ये 30% इज नॉट गुड इनफ फॉर मी, देन यू मे गो अहेड एंड डू द ट्रायल पीरियड्स कंटिन्यू. So that is where the your conviction comes into the picture. Ultimately system भी सर आप ही का डिफाइंड है, उस सिस्टम को कब चलाना है कब बंद करना है वो भी आप ही को डिसाइड करना चाहिए. That is where you can control and have a good amount of profits in your account. Otherwise if you continued, then that's the situation. So you have to bear that period as well if you wanted to see such kind of peaks as well. So money management is very individual. Okay, how it has to be defined, that is something what you to handle at your own. Otherwise system will do in that way. And definitely every strategy, every AI ML model, whatever you call it, every strategy will define and go through with those kind of periods. कोई भी strategy 100% मार्केट में काम नहीं करती है. 100% काम कर सकती है जब आप में इतना कन्विक्शन डेवलप हो चुका है कि ये जब दिन आने वाले हैं या दिन आने आ चुके हैं, साइडवेज स्टार्ट हो चुका है, देन आई हैड टू गो आउट, बंद करो अभी इसको. अदरवाइज तो सर सिस्टम है, वो ऑर्डर मारेगा ही मारेगा, वो बाय सेल ढूंढेगा ही ढूंढेगा, एंड वॉट एवर अकाउंट में जो आएगा वी हैव टू टेक इट. Yeah. All right. So this is how basically backtesting help you, and personally I've been using those information in order to run my personal strategies as well. Okay. Can you go back? I think on the strategy page. Yeah. And yeah, I think trade log. I would like to see the trade log. If you don't mind, can you log into the account where we have certain trade log? Okay, so whenever the trade happens, basically it comes in the trade log section. तो ट्रेड लॉग सेक्शन में हम वही कैप्चर करते हैं जो हमारे यहाँ से ऑर्डर गए हैं, और मे बी जो हम इनिशिएट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज एज ए यूजर यू माइट बी हैविंग सम सेम इंस्ट्रूमेंट पोजीशन मैनुअली क्रिएटेड इन योर डीमेट अकाउंट, बट वी डू नॉट मैच इट एंड ट्राई टू फिक्स इट. द रीजन बीइंग, क्योंकि आपने यहाँ पे बोला 1 लॉट की पोजीशन है और वहां पर आपकी 5 लॉट की पोजीशन है, तो देयर कुड बी मिसमैच. तो हम जब एल्गो से उसको ट्रिगर करवाएंगे या उसको मैनेज करेंगे, देन देयर विल बी डिफरेंस ऑफ द पोजीशन मैनेजमेंट. So we create logs for the entries basically initiated through our system. So once you click on the action button, you can see information available like exchange order ID and order ID. Exchange ID always comes from the NSE or BSE servers, and order ID always comes up whether the order has been filled up or rejected through through broker. These are the dummy ID because I have been using a notified trade. Okay, these numbers will be actual number which you can track in your your credit contract notes and all. So these will be exactly same when you will do the automation trading. Yeah, and you will get the summary also, like the P&L, what happened, the exit entry time, all right, the closing note as well. So you can see there is a term called force close. So the force close feature also we have. Can you just close this pop-up? So we used to have one icon when the trade is open. So let's just assume the trade is going very well in your favorable condition. Okay, and somehow you feel that okay, my targets have been achieved in mental. Like you already decided my target have been achieved, or I would like to just switch off. So there is a button called force trade close, and just click it, it will close your open positions. That's it. Now you go and enjoy. Or wherever, this is like a panic button, the emergency button or the panic button or the comfort button. I simply wanted to close my position and cut down the system. Use that and shut down the system. That's it. So this is how the force trade close works. Okay, and for each and every trade, the trigger, the message event will come on your WhatsApp number. We have a WhatsApp integrated to our system. So if you will create a notified trade, you will always receive a notification immediately within certain seconds. The movement condition for buy sell had happened, and that buy sell basically will cover up your trailing stop loss and target hits as well. So this is how the entire system has been automated and manage your strategy. So yeah, this is quite a bit about a Qodrr platform to managing your and automating your algos sets, and I will be happy to take up a few questions now. Yeah. No, if you want, you can take it.
Well, I believe you have enjoyed this whole session till now, and I would want you to, means if you have just listened to it, and if you have not yet created your own ID on Qodrr, if you want to do that journey, register right now and enjoy the benefit up to 31st December. You can do it now. We can run through the whole system again. So you can simultaneously do your registrations while it shows you. So you can do it right now also.
Yeah.
Like many people face some challenges, or later on call up, maybe because of some challenges, small challenges. Like I'll tell you, this is a when your user ID is there, it is very case sensitive. So like if you use means your name is RHAIV and you have put R as capital, then it will always want you to put it as R capital, as a user ID also. So that's the reason, like sometimes people register and then they forget that हमारा ID गलत आ रहा है, क्योंकि next time he's putting R small, तो उसको login दे ही नहीं रहा है, देगा भी नहीं, आपको बताएगा कि आपका ID है ही नहीं. So that's why I'm saying, अगर आपको जर्नी you want to start right now, you can do it right now on your mobile also. You don't have to have a laptop right now. You can register on your mobile itself on the Qodrr platform. Try to do a back testing. आप एक strategy बनाओ, do back testing live right now. So it will help you understand the whole system. Maybe from tomorrow onwards you can still run that, deploy in the morning, so you know what to do. तो फिर से कल आपको ये रिव्यू करने को फिर से थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होगा. व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज कि जयंत को मैं ये सजेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. और दूसरा, जयंत से मैंने आपसे बोला था कि पूछना आपको, दैट इज कि व्हाई वुड ही सेलिब्रेट व्हेन द सिस्टम शुड क्रैश? डिड ही टेल यू दैट? नो, राइट? ही डिडंट टेल यू दैट. सो यस जयंत, व्हाई वुड यू सेलिब्रेट?
Well, it's a quite a bit a myth in IT world. Okay, as a programmer, we always enjoy having a heavy traffic on our servers. मतलब तभी पता पड़ता है कि यार आज दुकान में बहुत सारे ग्राहक हैं, मतलब हमारे सांस लेने की फुर्सत नहीं है. So in the similar way, we always enjoy कि हमारे सिस्टम क्रैश होंगे, तभी हमें पता पड़ेगा we did something great work to improve something. We have a scope.
तो he feels कि इतने बहुत यूजर ने अगर हमारे सिस्टम पे आए हैं, हमारे ऐप पे आए हैं, तो we want, like it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And if it crashes, that means we need to scale up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the reason he said, sir, let it crash, I would be most happiest. So that is the reason I'm saying, like he actually made me aware of this, because हम लोग as a old kind of, हम लोग old school है, तो हमारे लिए कोई भी चीज नहीं चलती तो हम क्या सोचते हैं? खराब हो गया. ये न्यू जनरेशन है, ये बोलता है खराब हुआ तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ. लोगों को मतलब आज करने नहीं मिला ना, तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ, क्योंकि आज मुझे पता चला कि मेरा सिस्टम सच में लोगों को पसंद आ रहा है, उसलिए इतने लोग आ रहे हैं, इसलिए इतनी स्ट्रैटेजी.
अब क्या है, जैसे मैंने इनिशियली बताया था, जब वो एक सिंपल सीपीयू होता था 1 GB मेमोरी का और ऐसा कुछ, उस टाइम पे ये चीजें बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम था. बट इन द एरा ऑफ क्लाउड इट्स नॉट एक्चुअली. सो वी हैव अ रोल ओवर फेल ओवर सिस्टम डिप्लॉयड. ये सिस्टम कभी बैठेगा ही नहीं. It will manage on its own.
I want to say one more thing here. He said, आप लोग सिस्टम बंद कर दो, पोस्ट ट्रेड, force close. Now force close, why would you do? Unless there is a major something happening in market. Otherwise, if you do force close, that means you are not using non-discretionary system. These are not, algo is nothing but non-discretionary system, where you don't use your discretion, your thoughts, emotions or knowledge. You already applied that and you have set to machine work according to this. Now what you are saying, नहीं please, मुझे डर लग रहा है, बंद कर दो. So you are using discretion. Moment you use force close. So force close should be very rarely used, not often used. And every strategy that you deploy, every strategy that you make has to go through an up and down.
Yeah.
So don't expect it to give you flat, simple or vertical returns. It will never be flat, it will never be vertical, it will be up and down like markets only.
Yeah.
But overall, if you are making better return than you are making as you are doing when you are doing it manually, then you are better off. So here what we are suggesting is, maybe don't go for execution because we don't have that SEBI compliance. So what we are giving you is, use it for notification trade. आपको सिग्नल आ गया, आपको ट्रेड करना है, एंड वो डिसिप्लिन में आना.
डिसिप्लिन. या
यू हैव टू ब्रिंग दैट डिसिप्लिन इन योर सिस्टम कि जब भी ट्रेड आया आई विल डू इट. अच्छा, कल 3 किया था ट्रेड, आज 6 करूंगा, कल 9 करूंगा, नहीं. बस मेक सम मनी देन गो अहेड. सो दैट शुड बी द प्लान.
या
पहले कुछ पैसा बन जाए, आपका पैसा डबल हो गया, ट्रिपल हो गया, ट्रिपल हो गया, तब जाके आप डबल करो. और 100 जो डबल था ना, आपका पैसा मुद्दल डाला था, वो निकाल लो. कुछ पैसा घर पे भी आना चाहिए ना. आपने जितना भी बनाया है, समझो हम पैसे घर में दुकान चलाते हैं, घर में घर किससे चलता है? दुकान से चलता है. ये भी तो हमारी दुकान है. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है? ट्रेडर कीप्स ऑन pouring money back. He doesn't take out anything. That is the worst problem with most of the traders, and they keep on scaling. And when that means drawdown आता है ना, तब पूरा पैसा चला जाएगा आपका, क्योंकि आपने पहला जो बिजनेस किया था, जो ट्रेड किया था, हो सकता है यू डिड ऑन एन एवरेज ऑफ लेट्स से 2 लॉट्स, नाउ यू हैव 10 लॉट्स, तो 10 लॉट्स में ड्रॉडाउन भी तो डीप लगेगा ना,
Yeah.
बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ कैपिटल हियर,
Yeah.
यू डोंट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ गट्स। गट्स कहां से आता है? पैसे से आता है, प्रॉफिट से आता है। तो गट्स लाने के लिए पहला, you understand what I'm trying to say? So be, you know, means discipline, have a plan. So algo trading can help you in that fashion, but don't assume कि algo trading आ गया मतलब सब कुछ सही है, 12 नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें अप डाउन भी होता है, ड्रॉ डाउन भी आते हैं। साइडवेज मार्केट में मेजॉरिटी जो ट्रेंडिंग स्ट्रेटजी विल नॉट वर्क,
It will not work. It will not work.
अगर हम हर चीज को हेजिंग करके चलेंगे तो कुछ भी नहीं,
नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं बचेगा।
तो स्ट्रैटेजी टेस्ट कर लो, बैक टेस्ट करो, बाद में उसको डिप्लॉय करो। नेवर सी द सिस्टम, वॉट एवर यू डू इन लाइफ, इन रियलिटी ऑल्सो, हम जो भी करते हैं टेस्ट करते हैं पहले। टेस्ट करके क्या करते हैं, अगर अच्छा लगता है तो क्या करते हैं, थोड़ा सा काम करते हैं उससे, वी डिप्लॉय स्मॉल मनी। इन रियल लाइफ ऑल्सो हम कुछ भी करना हो तो थोड़ा सा करते हैं। अगर समझो आपको मैं नई डिश दे दूँ तो आप पूरा तो नहीं खाओगे, अनलेस यू टेस्ट इट, यू एंजॉय इट, देन यू मे आस्क फॉर मोर, बट देन यू फील कि अरे यार 4-5 और चीजें तो वो भी तो खानी है, तो यू कंट्रोल कि भाई इसमें ही पूरा पेट भर जाएगा, आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू टेस्ट। लाइकवाइज यहाँ भी आपको ये करना है कि आप जब भी स्ट्रैटेजी लगाओ उसको बैक टेस्ट करो, बैक टेस्ट करके हैव रिजल्ट्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ, पेपर ट्रेड करो उसी चीज से।
Paper trade
इज नो मनी,
Yeah, no money.
बट एटलीस्ट इट विल टेल यू मैंने जो बैक टेस्ट किया था उसका एक्स रिटर्न तो आ रहा है। व्हाई बैक टेस्ट इज नॉट द बेस्ट थिंग, यू नो, इन लाइफ। बैक टेस्टिंग रिजल्ट आते हैं, sometimes the strategy could give you 80% return in 6 months. Back testing, why is it not actually the best thing that, you know, should happen to you? हमको लगता है बेस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी, I had one strategy, you won't believe, we made a strategy on 1 minute, the results were 1100% in a year, 1100%। मैंने बोला यार 1x भी आ जाए तो बस है हमको, 1 + 1 2x बस, that's it, 11x तो नहीं, 11x नहीं चाहिए। लगाया 4 घंटे में, सॉरी 2 घंटे में 40 ट्रेड, 60,000 का लॉस, इंस्टेंट बन। बैक टेस्टिंग इज व्हाट, ऑन डेड डेटा,
That data.
इट इज नॉट ऑन लाइव डेटा।
Yeah.
ऑब्वियसली इट्स बैक टेस्टिंग, राइट। सो आप कौन से डेटा पे बैक टेस्ट कर रहे हो, जो डेटा
हो चुका है,
हिस्ट्री है, जो पास्ट है। अब उसमें कोई भी चैलेंज आ सकता है, there is no leakage, there is no, like, you know, you can say any kind of
Yeah.
slippage
नहीं है,
कुछ भी नहीं है। तो आपको तो ऐसा लगता है
सब बढ़िया है।
तो अब 1x ही दे दी तो क्या खराब है, यू नो, 1 + 1 2 हो गया हमारा, साल में डबल हो गया, और क्या चाहिए। नो सर, इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट। So this is the reason I'm saying, please make sure if you are doing back testing also, make sure you do paper trading also. Get conviction, build conviction, knowledge
Knowledge.
आता है यूज कर करके, फिर नॉमिनल पैसा थोड़ा, then go for actual.
Yeah.
Once you scale up, when do you scale up? When you have made enough money. Don't scale up without having made enough money. So this is my advice to you. Though fantastic systems, maybe we are just one of the players in the market. We are yet to go live and do everything, and you know, SEBI compliance and all that. But right now, execution part, there is no challenge with SEBI.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to tell you is कि हम वो सब नहीं कर रहे, आपको अभी फ्री दे रहे, और आपको ये नहीं बोल रहे कि करो यूज, बट आपको इतना बता रहे कि यूज कर रहे थे, उसको रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कोई भी कहीं भी algo, क्योंकि बोलने के लिए स्ट्रैटेजी किसी और की करना, खुद की करना, बैक टेस्टिंग पे बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस हैं, पीपल डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट। So you need to understand, and that's why I'm just cautioning you on that, you know, कि ये caution आपको ध्यान में होना चाहिए, आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए, ये सब प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकते हैं, challenges आ सकते हैं, right guys? So yeah, I'll leave it to Jayant.
Yeah.
If you want to run through, create your own, you know, means back testing strategies within, you want to log in, register, do whatever, use this opportunity. We can help you with that right now.
Certainly, yeah. So the whole idea is basically to not rely 100% on your backtracking results, because in a trader community, wherever I had a discussion so far, like people talk about, I would like to do the backtesting of my strategy on a 5-year data, 10-year data. I personally feel that is a crap. Okay, the 6-month trend can give you good enough information, like, you know, whether it's going to behave well or not. Even if you go for the longer duration, that's fair, but the whole idea is to test it in the live market. And the best idea to test in the live market and collect your own log is paper trade. So have a virtual trade, paper trade, basically for 1 month, 2 month, get the idea, okay, it's behaving in a similar way or almost similar way as it had shown the data in me in the backtesting. We are good enough. Okay, so I think thanks a lot, guys. I think it was fantastic to have a discussion with you all. Thank you. So now I think I would like to introduce my very dear friend Gaurav, who will be, I think, taking a session online in a couple of minutes. Yeah, in between definitely I can take. So Gaurav is, I think, almost ready to connect with us through online session. So he'll be continuing for the last session of the day. In the meantime, if anybody have any question, feel free to ask me before I end up the my session and my time. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot. I think it's a wonderful having a discussion with you. Thank you. Yeah. going on. Because of the lockdown, most of the hotel stocks, tourism stocks were doing very badly. Their stock prices had fallen a lot. And what I saw, if I went to the financials of the company, past 4 years profit of the company, I just noted it down, which is the first table, and the sum was 344. Then I saw the past 4 years cash flow from operations also, and the sum of them was 498. So when I divided this CFO by PAT, which is dividing 498 by 344, I realized that it was 144%. So basically, profit was getting converted into cash at a very good pace, and profit was suppressed artificially due to high depreciation. This basically meant that the company was actually doing very well, but this was not reflected in the profit figures. However, if someone had seen the cash flow from operations, then it would have given a better picture, and this would have shown that the company is very undervalued. So what I did actually was, somewhere around May or June 2021, when I saw this, the stock price was around 100 when I bought this, and I got quite a good return. So I sold it somewhere around 500 or 550. After that, I bought it again at अभी नाउ
एक मिनट सर, एक्चुअली आपका मैक्सिमम प्रेजेंटेशन म्यूट में गया, नहीं आ रहा है कुछ भी, आपका सिर्फ फेस नजर आ रहा है।
क्या बोल रहे हैं यार, अभी तो इतना देर से तो आ ही रहा था।
आप अभी जयपुर वाले मीटिंग में हो ना?
हाँ
अभी ठीक है,
ओके
अभी ठीक है।
yeah, sorry for the delay. So coming to Kotak Mahindra Bank, so how we can use RMI and price to book to better time our entry and exit. So this, as I was telling earlier, this this indicator is basically a MACD and it can be used like MACD. Hello. Hello.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, sorry. So this is how we use the price to book and RMI. Coming to Kotak Mahindra Bank, this is like an MACD. So when it gives a bearish crossover over here, this indicator is telling that there is a loss of momentum and it is time to exit. Conversely, when it comes down, again turns and starts to go up and again gives a bullish crossover here, this is actually saying that the stock is gaining momentum and this is the time to enter. Combining it with the valuation tool, we need to see that if the indicator is giving a bearish crossover at a simultaneous time when the valuation is also at the upper end of the range. So this basically valuation tool is, this blue line is the fair value, above it this is expensive, below it it is cheap. Conversely, when this valuation has come to its fair value and now the indicator is giving a bullish crossover, then this is the time to buy. So this is how we use the price to book and this momentum indicator. What happened over here, if you see, after giving a bearish crossover over here, this came all the way down, gave multiple buy signals when the stock was consolidating, again started moving up. This was really the time to accumulate the stock between 2024, and if you see that the stock went up from 1700 to 2000. Even though the stock is still undervalued, this indicator has now gone into a sell mode, meaning that it is again losing momentum. Next, let's just now see the chart of SBI. If you see the chart of SBI, this gave a sell somewhere around 20, just before 2020 in the COVID fall, when the valuation was also near its fair value. It went down where the valuation again became undervalued and the stock again gave a bullish crossover. This was the time to buy, and if you see, the stock went up all the way from 200 till the indicator again gave a bearish crossover. The stock had already reached somewhere around 550 levels. Then the indicator gave a bearish crossover and it remained like that for somewhere around 2 years. It again gave a bullish crossover and the valuation was at fair zone. So this could be used as a timing mechanism, and then the stock again went up all the way from 500 550 right now to somewhere around 700 or 750 when the indicator again gave a bearish crossover. At the same time, the valuation was also high. So when both are in sync, that is when the valuation is high above the fair value and it is giving a bearish crossover, then this is the time to exit. Conversely, coming to the 2020 bottom, when the valuation is at its low and the Rohit moment, this indicator is giving a bullish crossover, then this is the time to enter. This is how we can combine valuation and RMI to make our entry and exit decisions in a better way. Coming to the next sector for the day, which is pharma companies. So this is another sector which is tough to value on a PE basis. However, the best ratios to use is market cap sales and price to book. Coming to the range what various stocks follow, I looked at the history of these stocks and saw that particular stocks
follow a particular market cap to sales range. So how you can use this is that, let's suppose the case of Dr. Reddy's. When the Dr. Reddy's market cap sales range falls to 2, it is undervalued. When it goes to 4, it is overvalued. Coming to Zydus Life, it is 2 to 6. Oro Pharma is 1 to 3, and so on. Now let us see some charts to understand this practically. The first one is Aurobindo Pharma. In the previous slide, when we saw that the market cap sales range was 1 to 3, so this basically means that above this is uh, high valuation, below this blue line is undervalued. So when the RMI, when this indicator gave a sell signal somewhere around 2019, at the same time, if you see the stock was overvalued, that was the time to exit the stock. And if you see how the stock performed, it fell from somewhere around 800 all the way to 430 during the COVID fall. Then the valuation again reached undervalued stage, and the indicator again gave a bullish crossover somewhere around 2020. Then the stock went up all the way from 500 to somewhere around 1000 levels or 950 levels, when this indicator again gave a bearish crossover. So this is how we can use a combination of valuation and indicator in the case of Oro Pharma. Now if we go to the next slide, we will see this in the case of Zydus Life, and here I have used price to book and this indicator. So if you see, this is just moving in a particular value cycle, where it first comes to the bottom zone, which is in 2020, and at the same time the indicator gave a bullish crossover when the stock price was just around 280. The stock went up all the way to somewhere around 550 or 600, where the indicator again gave a bearish crossover somewhere around 2022, and at the same time the valuation was also high. It fell all the way, again went up along with the indicator. So when these two are at the same time giving the same signal, that is when the indicator is giving a bullish crossover and the valuation is undervalued, that is the best time to buy a stock. Conversely, when the indicator is giving a bearish crossover with a overvalued stock or overvalued situation, this is the best time to exit a stock. Coming to the next sector for the day is commodity sector. So this is actually a broader sector which includes metals, oil and gas, sugar. This is also on a sector which should be valued on price to book rather than PE multiple. So commodity stocks are always bought when their price to book is somewhere around 0.5x, and they should be sold when their price to book is somewhere around 1.5x. So let us see some examples how to use price to book. Next. So this slide actually tells us why we should not look at the profit figures while we're investing in commodity companies. So let us consider the case of Tata Steel. If we look at Tata Steel chart, and I've below is the profit figures for that particular year. So if you look at profit and try to invest, you will get misled and actually make the wrong decision. So let us see the first bottom, which was made somewhere around 2016 or 15. The previous year, 2 years, it was continuously making a loss. If you had seen the loss figures and you would have got scared, you would have really missed a good opportunity, because Tata Steel stock went up from 2025 levels all the way to somewhere around 70 in just 2 years. At the 2018 top, if you see the profit figure, it was a 13,000 crore profit. If you would have seen the profit figure and got misled, you would have invested and again lost money, because the stock fell all the way from 70, 75 to somewhere around 30. At the March 2020 bottom, again the profit fell a lot. It was the company gave a profit of just 1,500 crores. However, that was really not the time to get scared and miss this stock, because it went up all the way from 25 to 150 or 140 in just 1.5 2 years. So now let us see what is really the correct way to invest in Tata Steel. Next. So coming to the same valuation tool, this actually uses price to book rather than PE. So if you come to the 2018 top, if you see the price to book, this was quite overvalued at that time. At 2020, this was quite undervalued. At the same time, if you look at the indicator, it was giving a bullish crossover. The stock went up all the way from 2030 levels to somewhere around 140, where it became overvalued, and the indicator also gave a sell signal. This is how you should actually use price to book for commodity companies rather than seeing price PE multiple, because you will end up making the exact opposite decision. Next, let us consider the case of Jindal Saw. Jindal Saw is also a metal company which makes saw pipes used in the oil and gas sector. So if you use the price to book valuation mechanism and the indicator, this gives you very good timing tools. Let us consider the 2020 bottom. The stock went up all the way somewhere from 30 to 75. When it gave a bearish crossover, the stock was somewhere around 60, again came down all the way to somewhere around 30 levels when the valuation was again quite low, and at the same time it was giving a bullish crossover. If somebody would have bought the stock at that time, the stock went up all the way from 40 levels to somewhere around, I think, 350 or something, when the stock gave again a bearish crossover. So this is how you can use valuation and indicator for this particular stock. Next, if you see ONGC, this again exhibits the same cycle using valuation. It becomes undervalued, overvalued, undervalued, and overvalued again. And at the same time, this indicator is also giving you good entry and exit mechanism. Next. So the next sector for the day is IT company. This is one sector which can be valued using PE basis, or another ratio is market cap to sales. I studied the history of various large cap IT stocks and found that they also move within a particular range of PE multiple, which I have shared in this slide over here. So let us consider the case of TCS. Next, this chart shows that how you can use market cap to sales and combine it with this indicator to make your investing decisions for TCS. So if you look at the 2018 top, when the indicator first gave a bearish crossover and the valuation was also a bit high, the stock didn't move for 2 years. It bottomed at the 2020 COVID fall when the valuation was quite low, and at the same time the momentum indicator also gave a bullish crossover. The stock went up all the way from somewhere around 1900 to somewhere around 3500 when the stock gave a bearish crossover, and at the same time, if you look at the bottom end, the valuation was also quite high. The stock again bottomed somewhere around mid 2023 when the valuation had come back to its fair value, and the value indicator was also giving a bullish crossover. The stock again went up all the way from 3000 to somewhat around 4500, which is a gain of 50% in just 1.5 years. Next slide. This slide shows how you can use PE ratio for the same stock, which is TCS. This mostly would give you the same result if you would have used market cap to sales. Next slide, please. So the next sector for the day is FMCG sector. This is similar to the IT sector in the sense that we can use the PE ratio or the market cap to sales ratio for this sector. Again, I looked at the range of previous of some large cap IT or large cap FMCG companies and saw that they follow a particular range of P multiple. So we'll just see some practical examples from this sector. Next. So the first stock for the day is ITC, and we will see how we can use the market cap sales ratio and this indicator to make better investment decisions in this stock. If you come to the first bearish crossover which this stock gave, this was around 2018-19 when the valuation was also quite high. The stock was trading somewhere around 295 level or 290 levels. The stock fell all the way to somewhere around 150 during COVID, when it again became undervalued, and simultaneously the stock also gave a bullish crossover. Then the stock went up all the way from 150 175 to somewhere around 400 450 levels, when the stock again gave a bearish crossover and the valuation was also quite high. If you see, since that time the stock hasn't really performed and is sideways for 1.5 years or 2 years. So this is how you can avoid this stock till it again gives a good entry tool. Next slide. This is the same stock using P ratio. This, so basically now we will try to time ITC and using the P ratio rather than the market cap sales ratio. If you see the chart, it gives mostly the same result as a market cap to sales ratio. It gave a bearish crossover somewhere around 2018-19 when the valuation was quite high. Again gave a bullish crossover with an undervalued PE ratio in 2020, and so on. Next slide, please. So the next stock is Varun Beverages. Here I have considered market cap sales ratio. If you look at 2021, when the market cap sales was quite low and the stock gave a bullish crossover, the stock went up all the way from 90-100 to somewhere the first bearish crossover came around somewhere around 150. Then the next bearish crossover came around somewhere around 450. So basically this stock would have given you two buy signals. Somewhere first one would have come around 150 and the second came again around first buy signal came around 90 and the next buy signal came again around 200 levels. But the stock went up all the way to 450 or 400 levels when the stock finally gave a bearish crossover along with an overvalued valuation. So next slide, please. The next sector for the day is auto ancillary. This is another sector which we should avoid using, where we should avoid using the P ratio, as auto ancillaries have a very cyclical business cycle. The best ratio to use is market cap sales or price to book. When I studied the history of various auto ancillary stocks, I found out that they are cheap when the market cap sales is less than 1. They are fairly valued when their market cap sales is 1 to 2, and when they go above 2, then they are quite expensive. So let us consider some practical examples from this sector. Next slide. So the first stock is Motherson Sumi. If you see that this stock is it follows this market cap sales range very well. It topped out somewhere around 2018 when it was overvalued and its market cap sales was 2. And if you see, this indicator was also in sell. It fell all the way from a high of 100 in 2018 and made a low of somewhere around 30 during the COVID bottom. At that time, the valuation was quite low. The market cap sales had fallen to below 1 and the stock gave a bullish crossover. Then the stock went up all the way from 35 or 40 to somewhere around 100 when the indicator gave a bearish crossover and the stock was overvalued also. Then it fell all the way from 100 to somewhere around 50 when again a reversal happened, when it again became undervalued and the indicator again gave a bullish crossover. This is how you can use the market cap sales ratio and combine it with the indicator to time your entry and exit distance in the case of Motherson Sumi. Next, please. The next stock for this sector is Exide. It also follows more or less the same range And if you see the bottom end of this chart, it bottoms somewhere around 1, goes up to 2, again comes back to 1, again goes up to 2, 2.5, and again starts cooling off. And if you combine it with this momentum indicator, then it will give you good entry and exit signals. Next, please. So the next sector for the day is chemical and fertilizer sector. This is also similar to the auto ancillary sector because you should not use the P ratio over here. Rather, you should be using the market cap sales and the price to book. So if you see a market cap sales range of various chemical companies, we can see that these companies follow a particular range of market cap sales where they become undervalued at the bottom end, then complete a cycle of 1-2 years, come again become overvalued when they reach the top end, that is the time to exit, and they again come down. So let us consider some practical examples from this sector. The first stock from this sector is Chambal Fertilizers, and this chart shows how you can combine the market cap sales and indicator for this particular stock. So if you come to the 2018 top, when the stock was somewhere around 280 or 250 levels, the indicator was already in sell and the stock was overvalued. This means that one can avoid this stock. It fell and bottomed around 150, undervalued, and after some time the stock gave a bullish crossover and the stock went up all the way from 150, 160 to somewhere around 450 when the reversal happened. The stock became overvalued in 2022 and the indicator also gave a bearish crossover. The stock fell and didn't move for some time. It bottomed around 1-2 year down the line. The stock went up all the way from 280, 300 to somewhere around 450, 500 levels when the stock again gave a bearish crossover with an undervalued position. So this was really a time where one can exit this stock. The next stock from this sector is Sudarshan Chemicals. This also follows a similar path of overvaluation, undervaluation, overvaluation, undervaluation with a simultaneous signal from the indicator. When, as I said earlier, when both happen at the same time, it gives you more confidence to execute your investment decisions. Next sector, please. Next slide. So the next sector is real estate companies. So one should not use the P ratio over here. Rather, the best ratio to use is price to book. And obviously, in any company, a company which has better cash flows and a cleaner balance sheet and a management will get a higher price to book multiple. So when I studied various real estate companies, I realized that they move within a particular range of price to book value, where they bottom at the lower end and they top out at the upper end. So let us consider some practical examples from this sector. So the first sector, or for the first stock from this sector is Chopra Realty. If you see that this stock bottoms somewhere around price to book of 1, goes up to 4, which happened in 2022 with a simultaneous bearish crossover, again comes back to somewhere around 1.5 when it again becomes undervalued with a simultaneous buy signal from the indicator, and the stock can give you good returns during this buy period and during this sell period and a simultaneous overvaluation period. If you ignore or if you avoid the stock, you can avoid the drawdowns as well. Next slide, please. So the next stock is Godrej Properties. So if you see that during the 2020 bottom, the price to book had reached somewhere around 2.5 or 3 with a simultaneous buy signal from the indicator. The stock moved up from somewhere around 1100 all the way to 1700, 1600 levels, where it became overvalued and again gave a bearish crossover in 2022. Then for the next 1 year, the stock fell from 2500 to back to 1200, where it again became undervalued, and it finally gave a bullish crossover. From at that time, if somebody would have bought the stock somewhere around 1200 or 1300, one would have made good gains, because stock went up to somewhere around 2500 when the indicator again gave a bearish signal over here. Next slide, please. The next company from the sector is Brigade Enterprises, and if you see this chart, this also follows a same cycle of undervaluation, overvaluation, coupled with a simultaneous bullish and bearish crossover from the indicator. This ends the presentation. Thank you, everyone.